시즌1 때는 없었지만 시즌2 때는 월드 챔피언이 걸린 만큼
참여를 하려면 아시아 1위를 해야 하기 때문에
2등 치킨 아니에요?
1등만 치킨.
그럼 1등 할게요.
무조건 1위를 꼭 하겠습니다.
목표는 당연히 월드 챔피언십 가서 우승하는 거고
저희가 월드 챔피언십은 쉽게 가지 않을까 생각합니다.
p.m. in Korea. My name is Valdez. With me is Paper Thin. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. It's great to be back here for Season 2 of Clash Royale League Asia. Day 2 today. We've got the Korean teams facing off. Really exciting stuff, Valdez.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be my first time casting Clash Royale and my first time casting with you.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a bit now, but we actually get our first time to cast here. It's going to be a lot of fun for sure. I had a very quick day yesterday. It was just about a hour and 40 minutes broadcast with the two other guys, and today I feel like should be a little bit longer. You know, we got that live stage going on here. The Korean teams should be very evenly matched as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Korean teams were pretty evenly balanced throughout the whole season. At the end, some of the teams came on, like OGN Entus and Sandbox, started to come on more towards the end of the season. But all throughout the season, of course, Kingzone Dragon X was our strongest team on the back of the one and only Expo Master, who will be here again today. So I'm excited to see what they have for us, but I think we should see some really close, intense Clash Royale matches.
Yeah, definitely the favorites coming into this one. Kingzone Dragon X, of course, building a brand for themselves across multiple different games. And Expo Master himself was named in our title video here as the best player from Season 1. I think he definitely did earn that title. Now, is there going to be anybody else to step up against him here in Korea? I know we do have a lot of very strong players, but is anyone actually going to be able to take him down tonight?
Maybe. He's actually going to be playing, I believe, in the 2v2 match for Kingzone Dragon X to start with. And because of the way the rules changed a little bit, we'll get more into that later, but they won't exactly be playing 1v1 necessarily unless we go to the King of the Hill, the all kill at the end.
Yeah, so just speaking about some of those rules, you were talking about the overview here. Of course, our 3 Asian regions, Korea, Japan, Southeast Asia. It's going to be a longer season this time around, going from all the way August 24th, which was yesterday, all the way up until October 28th for the regular season, and then into playoffs that last up until November. It's going to be a longer one with that double round robin that we have.
Yeah, exactly. The double round robin is one of the biggest changes, so these teams are going to get to play each other more than just one time in their own region, so they're going to face off 2 times. Once here at the beginning of the season and then again later in the season. So that's pretty exciting, and I think that's a nice change because we especially saw with the Korea teams that some of the teams did a lot better later on than they did earlier on in Season 1.
That's very true. You know, I do like this new format. We're all learning as we go along here for Clash Royale and what should be the best format for Asia. Of course, as you guys can see, first place from each region goes directly to the semifinals. Then we go straight to that wild card round robin. And then that other 4th team will make it into the semifinals. The format at the bottom, as we mentioned, 2v2 to start, 1v1 for set number 2. And then it does go into that King of the Hill to finish off if we do need it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's exciting. We got to see that in the playoffs last season. I thought that was a really cool format and really interesting. It really forces your teams to be more diverse and have a lot more flexibility when it comes to their ability, because some of these teams just have really good 2v2 players and that's all they did. And then you just had your 1v1 specialist. So now you got to be a little more diverse, a little more flexible.
And what we were talking about here, some changes for Season 2. Maximum of 4 players, but the player that plays in 2v2 can't play in 1v1, so we would only be able to see one of those players play in the final set if we do get it. And also, the bans will not be done on site. They actually have to be done an hour before, or I guess a half hour before the broadcast. So you definitely have to have a plan when you come into the games for this season.
Right, exactly. And I think this is a good change. It gives them a little more time to think about what they want to do before the cast starts. And this time we reduce the time they have before the 1v1 and the 2v2s, where they only get 1 minute instead of 3, right? So they don't have as much time to kind of prepare before, right in the moment, but they get half an hour before the cast even starts.
And we got some money on the screen here. Paper Thin, of course, 15 for first and 10,000 for the regular season, and then 40,000 rather for the winner of playoffs. And for today's matchups, the teams we will have playing tonight, as we mentioned, all 4 Korean teams will be showing up here. Kingzone versus OGN Entus to start. OP Gaming up against Sandbox for match 2, and then Kingzone makes the return up against OP Gaming.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. A lot of really good players here, a lot of evenly matched teams. Sandbox made a nice run at the end and made it to the wild card and did well. But Kingzone Dragon X got to the semifinals, faced off against the eventual winner, Ponos Esports, in that semifinal. Ponos went on to win it all for Japan. So can Kingzone Dragon X continue? I'm really curious to see why they opted to put Expo Master into the 2v2 instead of the 1v1 match for the first set.
Yeah, I suppose they feel like they have other strong players that can hold up that 1v1 match as well. Maybe they want to 100% win the 2v2, come out strong, you know, for their first showing. Or maybe they just want to throw a wrench into the gears of the enemy teams. You know, maybe the enemy team thinks 100% Expo Master is going to come out. We need to have a counter for him in the 1v1, but actually not the case. So yeah, that could be a couple of the trump cards that they're playing tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And in the Korea region, there wasn't any other 1v1 person who really stood out as much as Expo Master. I mean, there's some very good players, but nobody that was as dominant.
Yeah. So, guys, we do have a VCR for the players. Let's jump into that right about now.
처음이 아니고 이제 두 번째니까 여유도 좀 생겼고
대회가 좀 더 재밌어질 것 같아요. 더 많은 선수들이 출전하고 더 많은 경기가 열릴 수 있으니까.
새로운 선수도 들어왔고 이제 호흡도 좋고 해서. 안녕하세요. 저는 OGN의 원크라운이라고 합니다. 떨리지만 열심히 하겠습니다.
이 원크라운 선수는 일단 굉장히 똑똑합니다. 공부는 못하는 것 같았는데 뭔가 게임에 있어서는 굉장히 뛰어난 재능을 보였고.
원크라운이요? 유명하진 않아요. 그냥 제가 제일 자신 있는 덱 하면은 쉽게 이길 수 있을 것 같아요.
대형석궁 장인 선수를 제가 실력을 알지 않습니까? 근데 이 원크라운 선수는 더 잘합니다.
잘 부탁드립니다.
제가 그쪽을 잘 모르지만 일단은 팀워크는 확실히 저희가 좋을 거라고 예상을 하고요.
스크림도 많이 했는데 국내 해외 통틀어서 100%에 가까운 승률을 갖고 있기 때문에 이미 저희는 준비가 끝난 것 같습니다. OGN 약점은 대폭이 얇다. 그거 하나 때문에 정말 강팀이 될 수 없는 팀 같아요.
강점이자 약점이 대석장인 것 같아요. 너무 원맨 팀이어서.
킹존 대석장 말고는 딱히
맞는 말인데.
그래도 어떤 반발하고 싶은 마음 없어요?
없어요.
없었다고?
네.
그래도 저희가 이길 것 같아요. 저번 시즌에도 저희가 이긴 것 같은데.
약점 같은 경우는 이제 팀 분위기가 안 좋을 경우에 이제 서로 멘탈적으로 좋아야 되는데 분위기가 밝아 보이진 않더라고요.
저도 한 얘기 같네요. 근데 실력적으로는 저희가 우위에 있기 때문에 별 문제 없을 것 같아요.
저희는 딱히 이제 단점이 없는 팀이거든요. 모든 면을 비교해도 솔직히 OGN한테 앉을 자신 있어요.
시즌 1 때는 아쉽게 졌지만 시즌 2에 킹존 만나면 반드시 승리하겠습니다.
멋진 경기 했으면 좋겠어요.
저희가 압도적으로 이겨드리겠습니다.
So nice little video we did have there from the two teams that are going to be starting. We're here in the studio. We have, of course, Kingzone up against OGN Entus that we did see. Pretty cool to see what the two teams think about the opposing team and what their weaknesses are.
Yeah, really interesting to hear from them, especially the new member of OGN Entus, One Crown, who maybe will be their 1v1 player today. We'll see, but here's the lineup for Kingzone Dragon X, Big Daddy, Ho, July, and of course, leading the way, Expo Master.
He's going to be there on the end, but he is definitely the shining light straight at the front of that Kingzone Dragon X train. Doesn't have a smile just yet, but I guarantee if he wins a couple of matches, he will be smiling, as he always does. Rest of Kingzone here looking pretty confident up on the stage. Always funny when we get the pro gamers stand and just tell them to be still and look cool on the stage. But they're going to be going up against OGN Entus over here. You mentioned One Crown, their new player.
Yeah, Paul Schadenspooky, who used to be known as Astro, so it's the same guy, just changed his name. So same player from last season, but he's got a new name now. And Q Mills to round out the OGN Entus. Last season, they were 6th place overall in the regular season. 6 wins, 5 losses. A pretty solid team all around. They did a little bit better in 2v2 than they did in 1v1. They were okay. They were pretty well balanced all around, but they didn't excel in any one area.
It'll be interesting to see if their new, very young player that they're bringing in, born in 2002 May, so he's definitely one of the younger guys we got on the squad, and in the tournament, we'll see if he can actually carry this team tonight. You mentioned he's not going to be in that 2v2. He's going to be perhaps playing in the 1v1, so I'm curious to see what he will bring to the table for this team.
Yeah, and it sounded like in that interview that he was specifically maybe brought in to kind of be a 1v1 specialist, somebody who could compete with Expo Master. But I think maybe you were right when we were talking about this earlier, that King Zone Dragon X wants to kind of throw a wrench in things maybe a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's going to be an interesting first match. As I mentioned before, will be my first time casting this, but a long-time player alongside you, Paper Thin. But let's get into some of the bans and who's going to be playing. So Tornado banned for the 2v2 on both sides, and then those Royal Hogs we've been seeing getting so much value going to be banned here by Big Daddy. One Crown going to take out that Lava Hound.
Yeah, so looks like One Crown really doesn't want to face against the Lava Loon, so he might be running a little bit more of a ground target heavy army. He doesn't want something like the Lava Loon combo with, you know, that you run with like Mega Minion and other things that's really air heavy to be seen against him. So an interesting choice, and we've really seen the Royal Hogs banned a lot in 1v1, and you know, I could foresee it being banned in 2v2 even because it's so powerful right now.
You'll notice the 2 players that are down there for the King of the Hill, if they are needed, July and Hall. Hall kind of the older brother of the team, kind of holding things together. Player manager in a way, I suppose. Definitely a full-time player, but a lot older than the new guy that is on the lineup. 12 years older, actually, to be precise, than One Crown. Didn't have much to say in the interview. I like how the younger players come in and they're just like very modest, right? I'm going to do my best. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm going to do well. And then Hall comes in and he's like, this guy's the real deal. You know, he's really going to do well. Let me show you this new player I brought onto the squad.
Yeah, definitely feels like Hall might be a little bit of the team leader. He's kind of, you know, showing the way for the newer kids and that kind of thing. So we're going to start with the 2v2, and it is Expo Master and Ho to start out with.
Little wave there from Expo Master. He's a bit of a more experienced player now, and he's very confident. There's the smile.
Yeah, he's a very emotive player. He likes to do a little bit of dabbing and some other things, so he's kind of fun to watch. He's got a lot of personality, actually. But interesting to note, last season, he did play 4 2v2 matches, lost all 4. Now, Ho was their more consistent 2v2 player, going 14 and 15. I believe usually playing with Big Daddy most of the time, and he did play 2 matches with July, but they lost both of those matches. So a little surprising to not see Ho and Big Daddy together here.
They're mixing it up. We'll see what the reason for that is. I feel like if you're going to do something like that for the first day, you must have a reason, because every match is going to matter, right? We saw the difference between King Zone that were 7 and 4, they were in 2nd place, and then OGN was 6 and 5, and they were in 6th place. So it's a big deal. Every single match that you play, you got to bring your A game. And no doubt, Expo Master, I think it might even just be him trying to prove to everybody that he can play 2v2 as well.
Yeah, definitely could be. We're jumping over to OGN Entus now, Q Mills and Schadenspooky again. Schadenspooky used to be Astro from last season. Same player, just different name. Really interesting stuff here. They were, like I said, they were a little better at 2v2 last season. Q Mills was their 1v1, more of their 1v1 expert, but overall in 2v2, OGN Entus found more success there.
You guys can see their Season 1 records so far, 7 and 5. Shows up in the top right, and just overall getting at least above 50%. Schadenspooky was 4 and 4 in 1v1, so I guess that is the 50% you're looking at there. But yeah, Q-Mills, you mentioned, hopping into 2v2 because their new ace, 1 crown. I'm excited to see him play a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll be playing in that 1v1.
Yeah, really excited to see the new player. Q-Mills and Astro did play 12 games of 2v2 together last season. They went 7-5, so they're a pretty strong combo. They've had some experience together. They kind of know each other's play style. Whereas Expo Master and Ho haven't played a lot together. So we'll see if maybe Expo Master and Ho have been practicing a lot in the offseason, getting ready for this new idea of this tournament, because maybe they want to like save Expo Master's like strength for that King of the Hill at the end, because that will probably come into play more often than not.
Yeah, we're seeing the two teams join together, get in the huddle here and decide what they want to play for the 2v2. You'll notice Hall over here for OGN Entus, right in the middle, the big brother, kind of leading the discussion over here. I'm very curious to see if they can actually pull out the upset. I don't know if we can really call it an upset up against Kingzone. Definitely Kingzone are the favorite coming into this one, but I feel like OGN Entus are also a very strong team.
Yeah, I think at 2v2 you might almost lean a little bit more towards OGN Entus,
Yeah.
but we have no idea what to expect out of Kingzone Dragon X, especially when you've got Expo Master there. He's just so good. So time's up. Teams are heading back to their desks. We don't really know a lot about what the teams are going to pick because they both ban Tornado. It doesn't give us a lot of information. You just kind of got to ban Tornado in 2v2.
Yeah, we were talking before the broadcast actually started about tornadoes, and 2v2 gets banned a lot. Now we've been seeing Giant Snowball be playing in its place because, you ban out one, but with that bigger knockback range that it does have, you can knock it into the King Tower, and you can do all sorts of fun stuff with that card. And also excited to see a lot of Royal Hogs here in the 2v2. That's what I would expect if I was looking at one other card.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Royal Hogs, a lot of Zappies. We saw Golem beat down and some other things. We'll almost certainly see Inferno Dragon here. That's just almost a must in 2v2. So we're getting ready here. Teams are ready, guys. We're going to start Game 1 here at Clash Royale League Asia.
Here we go. Jumping straight on here. We can actually see the cards, and as I said, Royal Hogs up against Zappies. With the Valkyrie, this is what we are seeing in the meta now. It's very, very common to see which team can get the first good start.
Yep, we're not seeing too much different from what we saw yesterday. A lot of Royal Hogs, Zappies, Valkyrie, Guards. Ooh, interesting. Tesla Towers. Now that's a new one. That's a nice defensive change.
Valkyrie on the left side actually walked all the way in and got a massive amount of damage onto that left side Princess Tower. Good start here already for Kingzone.
Yeah, Kingzone opting to put the cannon cart in the left lane now as well, but it gets taken out before it could even cross the bridge there from the Bats and the Valkyrie.
Yeah, it was a very well-timed zap to make sure that the Bats could not take out the Valkyrie and got max damage. Also, the Tesla was not placed in the middle, so the Valkyrie not aggroed onto that one. Royal Hogs coming in here once again with the poison. Going to do a nice work to the Zappies as well. Another good trade here for Kingzone. Let's see how OGN respond.
Yeah, it's a really great poison to get all 3 Zappies and the tower in it. There's a little bit of extra elixir value, and then, ooh, here comes a miner on the bottom right, but the Zappies are there to counter. And there it is. I told you.
That's what I was pointing about, man. You were talking about this one card, the Bomb Tower. Seems to be a very good counter to the Royal Hogs.
Yeah, we saw so much Royal Hogs yesterday. You asked me, Paper Thin, what do you think we'll see counter that? And I thought, Bomb Tower, now that it got a buff that it reduced its elixir cost to 4, I can definitely see that as a counter.
Display out of the side of Kingzone. They're going to send all of the Royal Hogs onto the left side. I guess there's not that AoE clear, but the Tesla is going to clean it up. And in turn, OGN Entus able to get a nice amount of damage on the right side, but the second Royal Hog's going to come in here. Going to bait the Fireball on the right side, but they're getting to work already on that left Princess Tower.
That poison doing so much damage. A Royal Hog in there as well, and it looks like the Valkyrie's going to get a few more swipes in, and it just doesn't quite go down, but they do have Fireball and Snowball available, and they play defense to survive this.
Look at this Bomb Tower and how much value it gets against those Royal Hogs. The Bats, though, connecting on the right side alongside the poison, able to nearly even up the health.
Yeah, it looks like both teams should be able to take down each other's Princess Towers here. Only 217 on the right-hand side. for King Zone Dragon X. That miner's going to come in there, get another whack. That'll definitely put it into fireball range if necessary. So now they got to regroup, see if they can push. But King Zone Dragon X has a little bit of an advantage here.
Definitely do. Miner is going to be used on the right side just to 100% make sure that they can get that Princess Tower down. Wasn't confident in what they had going, but a very strong push on the right side now. The Poison's getting to work, but good AoE damage from the Valkyrie. The Royal Hogs on the left side here. Will there be a response? The bomb tower very desperately put down, but it is going to do enough on the defense.
Yeah, it keeps it alive. The Tesla Tower and the Bomb Tower do pretty well against the Royal Hogs, especially when you're forced into these one-lane situations. So both teams were very well prepared for that. Here comes another push from the Royal Hogs and a Magic Archer as well this time.
They get Fireball to push them ahead. The Magic Guards are trying to line it up there, finally getting a couple of those very crucial shots, but on the right side, the Poison and the Miner trying to get in and do that damage. A very close 2v2 to start this off.
Yeah, really close actually. Of course, King Zone and Dragon X having a little bit of an advantage here, but can they make it work? Another strong push coming from the Q-Mills and OGN Entus, and oh, they managed to scrape it up. Only 157 left. Here comes the Fireball.
Yeah, that's going to do it. It was perfectly stopped on the right side by King Zone, Valkyrie Bats, and the Giant Snowball. Made sure that not a single hog got to eat anything out of that left side Princess turret. And, well, they were able to also push in onto the right side. So, from the get-go, King Zone did have the lead in that game, and they end up winning game number 1.
Yeah, it looked like the Valkyrie was a big deal there, like we saw at the very beginning. And it just kind of sneaked up on us over in that left-hand lane and did a lot of damage. Yeah. And that moment was, I think, what made the big difference. Because otherwise, things seemed pretty even between the two of them. They both had counters for the Royal Hogs. One had the Tesla Tower, one had the Bomb Tower. You know, they were kind of prepared for that. And they both had Poison ready as well. So we're getting a timeout from OGN Entus. They want to talk this one over. Think about how they're going to approach this next game.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with you. I think that moment with the Valkyrie where it just got a little bit too close and got, I think, maybe 4 or 5 spins, right? That's just way too many for one Valkyrie to get on in professional play. So I don't mind the fact that OGN Entus is going to take a timeout here and try to discuss what went wrong, but also, you know, what will they have to counter this deck? Because the two teams basically playing the same exact thing. Is there any counter but the same deck? I suppose we'll find out tonight.
Yeah, I think they might want to think about removing the Magic Archer. They didn't even really play it. Like, I was kind of watching up in the top, and the Magic Archer was just sitting in their hand for a long time. They might want to think about a different card there. You know, the Magic Archer is a pretty good counter to something like the Royal Hogs, because if you line them up right, you can hit all 4 Royal Hogs. But it never seemed to work out. And so I think they might want to think about using a different card in its place.
Well, we're going to have a lot of time here as the timeout does wind down. Lots of discussion on the side of OGN Entus. Even covering them out just to make sure nobody knows what they're talking about. I feel like it's traditional sports, like we're playing football over here or something. But
we do have a live
rather.
Audience here.
Yeah.
Somebody could be spying. I'm just kidding. That's not. There's no way that's
They got a lip reader in the audience here.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to get those secrets out of OGN Entus. But so far, King Zone, they haven't really needed any of the secrets. They're playing very straight up with this new powerful deck we see in 2v2s, and very strong performance to start off the night.
Yeah, close game, and it just came down to a little bit of a miscue at the beginning for OGN Entus, and I expect to see something pretty similar again in the next game. One team might opt to really change it up and try to do a beatdown with the golems, or maybe something crazy like a Lava Loon, maybe like clone kind of thing, or you could do like golem, night witch, clone, that kind of thing. So those are all very viable here, but it seems like they're all pretty comfortable with very similar styles. Now, we saw so much of it yesterday. We're seeing it again here today in the Clash Royale League Asia. Guys, it's time to start game number 2 here at the Clash Royale League Asia.
Here we are once again. You guys can see the cards. Not too much has changed up this time. Some Fire Spirits on the side of King Zone. Something you'll notice, as well as a Cannon card. Another very common card we're seeing nowadays. I was looking at OGN Entus, and things look pretty much the same on the side of their cards.
Yeah, they've barely changed anything. You know, King's Own Dragon X has doubled up on the Valkyries and doing quite a bit of damage, but we saw that snowball push that miner into the King turret. That's a big deal, so a nice little advantage for King's Own Dragon X here.
It's going to get them that extra defense. You can tell that OGN Entus were waiting for the Royal Hogs to come on in. A perfect defense on their side as the Tesla and the Valkyrie on top of each other are going to get a full clear. So start off game number 2, OGN Entus already in a good spot.
Yeah, although King's Own Dragon X has lost a little bit of tower damage in that exchange in the beginning, even though they did get their King Tower unlocked. So we'll see if that was an advantage or a disadvantage.
The Royal Hogs getting a bunch of damage over on the right side. It was a really nicely timed fireball straight into the first set of zappies. The second one had to be committed to by the side of OGN Entus just to make sure they could stop it. Now it's their turn to send in the Hogs. It's all about the Hogs here for Season 2.
Yeah, the Hogs are real popular. The bomb tower doing some work, but not quite as much damage. That time, the placement was a little off, and the Hogs were able to surround the tower, so each bomb wasn't hitting all 4 of the Hogs.
Tesla kind of come in with that Valkyrie once again. That's that perfect defense that OGN Entus have been able to pull off multiple times. Miner gets a little bit of damage over in the top right side, but outside of that, a pretty good defense so far.
Yeah, not much has changed this round. This time, both teams playing very evenly. A really nice fireball coming in there. A lot of damage being done to King's Own Dragon X's right-hand turret.
Like the zap there to make sure that the cannon carts is not going to get too far in range. No Valkyrie this time on the side, and the Zappy's going to get blown up by a very well-placed fireball. Tons of damage coming in. The Valkyrie going to get in range too. And down will go the first Princess turret on the right side.
Yeah, that tower goes down. They've even got the cannon cart for defense there on the right-hand side. Another aggressive miner here, but they OGN Entus responds with their own miner.
Sending 2 of the Zappies over to the left side. Pretty confident that they can go for their own push. But enough time should come in here. You'll notice that they really want to chip away at that left side tower. The miner's going to come out to the right side, really trying to get that damage though, but it's not enough. Zap is going to have to be committed to take that one out.
Comes another push on the left-hand side. Both teams throwing down Hogs. A Valkyrie on the right-hand side at the top with a lot of bats, but they're getting sucked up by the Zappies.
Yeah, the guard's doing a really nice number 2 to, well, guard in the front for the Tesla. That's going to come in. Will the second set of Hogs going to do the damage? No, actually, Fireball does a good job of cleaning up, but King's Own Dragon X still in the lead in this one. See if they can finally take out that left side Princess turret.
Yeah, that snowball followed up by the fireball did a lot of damage. Here comes the bomb tower. This time it's going to get a lot more value in the zap as well, helping Zappy's doing some damage, keeping most of the damage from hitting that Princess tower, but the archer is within range and doing some decent damage.
Yeah, you'll notice that desperate cannon cart come down because they knew it was connecting, but a very strong push coming forward. Now they need some kind of AoE. Fire Spirit's coming out, but the zap actually is going to make sure it doesn't do the damage, and there's the snowball to finish it off. Nicely done for King's Own Dragon X to pick up the 2-0 victory here in the 2v2.
Yeah, it seems like they had a little bit better feel for that type of deck. We didn't actually see the Fire Spirits get used that much. Both teams actually did switch to using it. I'm assuming for something like going against bats, or maybe they're expecting like Minion Horde or something like that. It's such a really strong card against those. But, you know, neither team really needed to use it too much. They didn't change very much at all from either game. Just King's Own Dragon X able to execute the strategy a little better.
Yeah. Like the Fire Spirits, you can get all the Hogs in one place, but when you're already putting down a Tesla and a Valkyrie, you put those in as well. You're going to be spending all of your elixir for one player at least. But either way, it was a nice showing there by OGN Entus. I feel like, you know, King's Own definitely the favorites coming into this one, but now our boy Expo Master is not going to be in the 1v1, so maybe they have a chance to bring it back in match number 2.
Yeah, exactly. We're going into our replay now. Here's game 1. We saw this Valkyrie up on that top left Princess tower doing so much damage there. Just really giving that slight edge that King's Own Dragon X needed to do.
That was really the highlight moment. Afterwards, it was just heavily in their favor as a very nice poison as well to make sure they could push in, do that extra damage.
Yeah, I think one thing that we did see different in the second game was that I think both teams abandoned the Inferno Dragon, because you kind of have to take it in 2v2 in case they play Golem or maybe even like P.E.K.K.A. or they try to do something like the Giant Skeleton, like Mirror Trick. You got to have that Inferno Dragon available to take down those big units.
Yeah, you notice that King Zone switched from Inferno Dragon and probably something else into Cannon Cart and Bomb Tower. So it's a bunch of stuff that only hits ground as well. So they weren't expecting any, Lava Hound or anything like that. It was just straight to the ground, making sure they could do enough defense and even push forward for the damage. This was the final push from the side of King Zone, as they were just able to overwhelm eventually. But that was the 2v2. Excited to get into the 1v1.
Yeah, I think one other thing to kind of talk about at that 2v2, I think the Bomb Tower, if placed right, is a little bit more value than the Tesla Tower. Because the Tesla Tower, you notice they had to drop the Tesla and then the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
So that's 8 Elixir versus 5 for the Royal Hogs, right? So that gives you a little bit of an Elixir advantage there. But with the Bomb Tower, if placed right, especially when it comes down to both teams just having one Princess Tower left, you can place that Bomb Tower right in front of the Princess Tower, and the Hogs will go for it, and you will get a lot more value out of it, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the 1v1 here. You were talking about before, Big Daddy for King Zone Dragon X is definitely that 2v2 player. He has 0 games in 1v1, only 1 game in the King of the Hill. He was a specialist of 2v2, but he will play for the first time in this 1 versus 1, and he's up against a new guy on the match here.
We've never seen either of these players really in a 1v1 except for that one King of the Hill that Big Daddy did have to play in the semifinals of Season 1 where he lost and against Ponos Esports. So we don't know a lot about this, but here's his favorite cards at the bottom. So pretty interesting. He likes Lava Hound, he likes the Giant, and he likes the Log, but I believe he banned the Lava Hound. So that's kind of interesting.
I believe that was the ban, and well, PewDiePie, shy in life, but hot in the game, would have to agree. 6,900 trophies, definitely getting pretty hot.
Wow.
But I want to see if the hype is real. I want to see if this is the big guy on campus to actually take out King Zone Dragon X. Maybe if he wins here, we could see a rematch in the King of the Hill, or not a rematch, but a first match perhaps between our 2 ace players. That would be incredibly fun to watch.
That would be really exciting. I'd love to see those 2 players face off. It would kind of remind me of last season when Lampo played against Expo Master and actually beat him in the first set they played. They got to play each other again in the 3rd set, and that time Expo Master ended up besting Lampo. But a really exciting series because it was Lampo's first day, similar to what we're seeing here today with One Crown.
Yeah. Well, the Lava Hound was banned, as you mentioned. Did not want to go up against any kind of air assault. The Lavaloon deck wants to put that away. The Royal Hogs, as King Zone definitely know exactly what those Hogs can do. They did not want to play up against them, did not want to play them, and so we should be seeing some new decks here, at least for 1v1.
Yeah, this should be fun. I mean, we really don't know what to expect exactly from either of these players, what they've been practicing, that kind of thing. Will, One Crown opt to go for something he likes on the on the ladders? Like, he likes to play the Giant, so is he going to do a Giant beatdown, maybe Giant double Prince? Something like that we could see from him, maybe? I'm really curious to see what they're going to pull out.
That's definitely a big question. Also, another thing we always have to talk about for some of these young players who have their first professional live match, this guy's got to be a little bit nervous, right?
Yeah.
He said in the interview coming into the season, he's like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm happy to be here. But is that nervousness, can he put it away here for the match? Because playing at home on your phone is a lot different to playing up against Big Daddy. So we'll see if he can do it. Let's jump into the 1v1 and see how it all goes down. We are Big Daddy up against One Crown. Good luck is called from the side of Big Daddy. Didn't get to see if One Crown responded. Maybe he was the one who started off.
Could be.
The emotes.
Sometimes you'll see some of these players, you know, give each other the cry faces or the thumbs up and that kind of thing. We've got new emotes as well this season. Really exciting stuff. So we wait, there it is. There's the laughing face. And there's the cry face.
He's crying. He's like, isn't it sad that this is the 1v1 meta sometimes? Nobody wants to, obviously, show what they have. Tombstone, a very common starting card for when the shenanigans do happen.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes with these kind of decks, you're just trying to cycle to the cards you want to have when the timing comes of the sudden death, or the 2x elixir, and then that eventually goes to sudden death.
Okay, so we're seeing the Ice Wizard come out here, as well as the Valkyrie. Everybody putting everything on the left side so far. Good value there on that fireball so far, but Graveyard all of a sudden onto the right side. See if that gets any damage done.
Yeah, this gives us our first indication of what type of decks both players are playing. The Graveyard coming in, is it going to be followed up with a freeze or a poison later? That's the real interesting question. Ooh, a balloon from Big Daddy, even though the Lava Hound was banned. He's going for the balloon, trying to be a little tricky here.
Oh, the zoom in. We want to see if the balloon can do any damage. It actually targets the Golem on the ground. That's very unfortunate for One Crown. With his Mega Minion, it looks like this should get in range and do huge damage.
Oh, so
already
much
for
damage.
the Princess Turret.
Yeah, that Mega Minion attacked the Golem instead of the balloon, and that slowed all of that down. He had to even use a tornado, and it still did a ton of damage for that Princess Turret.
Well, everything going to be spammed down into the bottom right side. The poison and the Graveyard coming in, as you did mention, but the Tombstone as well as the Ice Golem, the Mega Minion, everything else able to put up a very nice defense. Cannon Cart all of a sudden onto the left side, trying to mix things up here as One Crown.
Ooh, getting some decent damage in, and when it does turn into its stationary mode, it does cancel that beam from the Inferno Dragon, but can the Inferno Dragon do just a little bit of damage on that top right Princess turret?
Just one tick. We got a couple of weakened turrets on the side of Big Daddy, but that one very weak turret up on the right side, getting very close to the overtime. Graveyard gonna come in. Need to stop that Valkyrie from getting into range already. He's gonna get one swipe. Some Skeletons getting damage done as well. But there's that balloon onto the right side. Is there gonna be the defense this time?
Oh, here comes the fireball to knock the Ice Wizard out of the way. Can it get there? Okay, the tornado is in time and it will be stopped.
Very nicely done by One Crown. This time the Mega Minion doing its job. Miner though onto the right side is gonna lock down onto that turret. The zap coming in too.
That's enough damage.
There it
Here comes
is.
the fireball. Good game, Big Daddy there. Surprising us a little bit with that balloon. You don't necessarily expect it if you don't have the Lava Hound, but he did have that Miner combo with the balloon. You can see that a little bit these days in the meta where people will use the Miner and the balloon together.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely some mind games as well. You see the Lava Hound banned and you think he's probably not going to have all that much anti-air. What we did see is Tornado and Mega Minion, basically all he did have on the side of One Crown to stop the pushes coming in from the air.
Right. Mega Minion can get it done on the balloon if you catch it right as it's crossing the river. It will do enough damage to take it out before it gets a hit onto your Princess Tower. And with Tornado as well, and the Ice Wizard a little bit. Ice Wizard's not as strong against the balloon, but the timings on those. What's really important is he had the two ways to get the balloon in there. He had the Ice Golem to come across the bridge, and then he dropped the balloon behind it, or he had the Miner to come in as well to soak up the damage from the other units to distract from the balloon.
Liked the deck from the side of One Crown as well, the Graveyard Poison kind of combination, as well as that new card that we're seeing a lot nowadays, the Cannon card that actually did get a huge chunk onto the left side Princess Tower of Big Daddy. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, as just too much damage was taken on the right side from that one balloon push. Very good placement from the Ice Golem. Definitely deserved to win that first game here, but we're getting ready to jump into game number 2 right now. Big Daddy up against One Crown. Let's see who will take game number 2 in the 1v1.
This is how most of my matches go.
You're doing the wrong emote.
I'm
Clinton,
always
actually.
spamming the cry emote, dude. I don't even care what's going on. I could be losing, I could be winning. It's
Yeah.
the cry emote. I kind of want to get some of these other emotes though. I really like the Hog Rider one.
Yeah, the Hog Rider and the Royal Hog now as
yeah,
well.
We just had the Royal Hog come out today too. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I think that's a great little, cosmetic thing to have in this game. I think they're really funny, and if you're taking this game so seriously that an emote makes you mad, then you need to take a step away.
Yeah.
Just go play some like SimCity or something. Like go play something relaxing. Like,
yeah. Go out, take a walk.
Yeah, get some fresh air, man. It's all good. Well, it looks like both of them are gonna wait again. This time we haven't seen anybody drop even anything. It was around the 2:15 mark that the graveyard went down last time. So I think we're just gonna be waiting for another 50 seconds until the double elixir.
Yeah, seems like that's what's going to happen. So how was your day, Clinton?
It's pretty good.
Feel good today?
I'm feeling all right. I'm just excited to be back here at Clash Royale,
Yeah.
man. I've been playing a lot lately. I've been really digging the new changes they've made. They seem to just make this game better every time a new update comes out. The balances are really good. Although I kind of wonder if they maybe over-nerfed the not the Royal Guards, but the Royal
Giant?
Not the Royal Giant. No, that's my favorite card. They can buff that all they want. But that it went from 6 elixir to 8 elixir.
Oh, forgot the name of that one. The Royal Guard?
I keep wanting to call it that, but that's not what it is. I remember it's not that because I thought it was like the guards, the skeleton ones, because they had the shield, but it has a different name.
Well, speaking of which, we do have the Elixir ×2 coming on in here. The Giant deck played this time around as well as Mini Tech on the right side. Gonna deal with that Miner already.
Okay, the push being followed up by a Musketeer and a Mega Minion. Ooh, that Fireball only hits the cannon card. That's a mistake there by Big Daddy. He needed to hit that Ice Wizard as well.
Yep, the zoom in. And, well, that cannon cart is not going to get in range. Definitely was a bit of a mistake there, but at least he was able to stop it in its tracks.
Okay, Big Daddy opting to put the Mini P.E.K.K.A. and the Mega Minion there. And now he puts the Giant in front of him, followed up by the Musketeer again. Now, ooh, a nice Tornado here from 1 Crown to pull that unit back. And here comes a much better Fireball that time.
Very defensive deck this time around from the side of 1 Crown, the Tornado, the Ice Wizard, Valkyrie, everything just trying to eat into it. But so far, hasn't been able to do all too much as a lot of damage already onto that left side Princess Tower.
Yeah, this is an interesting deck. I mean, it's almost like a control deck coming out of 1 Crown, but the fact that he has Poison in there, generally speaking, you want Poison to be more of an offensive card. You're going to get more value out of it that way. You prefer not to use it as a defensive card. Now, of course, this is what you want to do with Tornado, is drag that Mini P.E.K.K.A. into your King Tower to activate it for bonus defense. But another decently strong push here coming from Big Daddy.
It doesn't really feel like he has much to deal with this Giant outside of bats, but the Zap has been on point, as well as, I mean, he does have the Tornado, but it's just getting too much chip damage overall every single time that push comes in with the Giant. I feel like he doesn't really have the effective defense, but nice cannon card on the right side, but good Giant in response, gonna make sure that it does not lock on to that Princess Tower.
Yeah, but that was not what Big Daddy wanted there. He didn't want to have to use his Giant for defense. That makes it a lot harder for him to keep pushing this left-hand lane. But the Giant might get in a few hits here. Oh, the bats are coming down, so it might get one hit.
Lots of stuff committed to the right side, though. Just the log should have a Tornado ready to go as well. There it is for the defense. All the while, the Miner on the right side is able to do a bunch of damage. Bats this time going to take out that Giant, as he did have enough time with the Tornado.
Right, the big advantage that Big Daddy has right now is that he's able to use his Fireballs and the logs on that left-hand Princess Tower. That's what's giving him this slight edge in this match, because 1 Crown has to commit so much resources to defending these beatdown pushes from the Giant. Here we go. Fireball. Oh, did he miss that tower on that Fireball?
No, he got it.
Okay, he got it.
Yeah, just barely hit it. Cannon card is going to lock in, gets a couple of shots onto the left side here. He's going to put another one down onto the right, but good response with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, that chip damage with the spells is really doing a number onto that left side. We're just maybe one more hit, a log and a Fireball would do it.
Yeah, we're going to have to see something special come out of 1 Crown on the right-hand lane here to get this done. He's in, you know, Big Daddy has so many answers for what One Crown has brought here. He's got the mini P.E.K.K.A, he's got the Mega Minions, the logs coming in. That'll be it. Big Daddy takes game number 2.
It's going to be the quick 2-0 this time up against One Crown, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more out of this player that we did hype and that OGN Entus did hype. And, well, it was the quick 2-0. It looks kind of like the 2v2 where it was just the slow, inevitable advantage that Kingzone had to bring in the victory.
Yeah, a really nice job there by Big Daddy. I think switching to the mini P.E.K.K.A was a really nice idea there. It does a lot of damage. It's so quickly, its DPS is so good. You know, taking out that miner, taking out that cannon cart whenever that came in, and that's an elixir advantage for him when it goes against the cannon cart especially, because it really does a number against that.
It's very true. So One Crown here looking very disappointed, but don't worry, you're going to get a lot of chances to do a good job, a better job perhaps in the future. We have a lot of Clash Royale. This was game number 1, as we talked about, the Mega Minion just locking onto the Ice Golem and getting zapped away eventually to make sure that the balloon could do that damage.
Right. A really nice, tricky play by Big Daddy, and a good job here to make these pushes work. Using those Mega Minions, using those flying units that we probably didn't really expect because of the Lava Hound ban.
Very true. And as we saw there, the Zap and the Fireball able to take them out. 3 spells on this deck as well. Really, if you can just make your opponent play defensive enough and use your Fireball on 2 or so cards and then eventually send in logs and zaps as well, you're going to eventually chip out those towers.
Right, if you're getting even elixir exchanges there, all you really need is for that giant to get 1 or 2 hits onto the tower, and you will just slowly chip away there, and then the log will finish it. Big Daddy 2-0s, Kingzone Dragon X takes our first match of the day.
Yeah, so we are going to be hearing from them in the interview, and guys, I'm going to be translating, which I did hear about today. We'll see how I do. I'm not fluent in Korean, but I will do my best. We'll see what they have to say.
클래시 리그 죄송합니다. 네, 클래시 리그 아시아 시즌 2 대망의 한국의 첫 경기를 OGN 엔투스와 킹존에서 했는데요. 첫 승을 킹존에서 승리를 가져왔습니다. 킹존의 대형석군 장인 선수 모시고 한번 인터뷰해 보겠습니다. 너무 축하드립니다.
Congratulations.
감사합니다.
네, 오늘 시즌 첫 매치에서 승리했는데 경기 어땠나요?
How was the match?
오늘 경기 수월하게 풀어가서 기분이 아주 좋습니다.
그리고 시즌 1에서 정말 아쉽게 플레이오프에서 좀 떨어지게 됐잖아요. 그때 좀 심정이 어땠는지.
그때는 좀 기분도 안 좋고 많이 힘들었지만 그래도 시즌2의 월드 챔피언십이 걸릴 만큼 열심히 준비했어요.
거기다가 지금 제가 정말 궁금한 게 대형석군 장인 선수 하면 1대1에서 정말 좋은 모습 보이고 있잖아요. 근데 이번에 2대1에 출전한 계기가 무엇인지 정말 궁금하거든요.
저도 포너스의 미칸보야 선수처럼 이제 2세트와 그러니까 2대2와 3세트를 책임지기 위해서 이제부터 2대2에 참여하게 되었습니다.
이제 팀원에서 이제 믿을 사람이 자기 자신뿐이다 이런 말인가요?
물론 전 팀원을 믿지만 그래도 제가 2대1을 하는 게 좀 더 마음이 편한 것 같습니다.
그러면은 지금 상대에서 원크라운 선수가 지금 새로 영입이 됐는데 오늘 경기 어떻게 보시나요?
원크라운 선수 상성이 좋았던 것 같은데 긴장을 많이 해서 피해 선수가 수월하게 경기 풀어가서 이긴 것 같습니다.
이제 새롭게 시작하는 단계에서 지금 기분 좋게 첫 승을 했는데 앞으로의 각오 한마디 부탁드립니다.
이번 시즌은 정말로 열심히 준비해가지고 다시 월드 챔피언십에 도전해서 이번에야말로 우승하겠습니다.
네. 그리고 마지막으로 이제 잠시 후 3매치에서 이제 오피게이밍과 경기를 하는데 어떻게 경기에 참여하게 될 것인지 각오 한마디 부탁드립니다.
오피게이밍도 OGN과 같이 철저하게 박살내겠습니다.
네, 이렇게 해서 오늘 한국 팀들 간의 첫 매치 팀이 승리를 가져갔다는 소식을 알려드리고요. 다음 두 번째는 오피게이밍과 샌드박스의 경기를 지켜보겠습니다.
Before we do get to the second match of the night, will be OP Gaming versus Sandbox. So we'll see you in a bit for that next match. Welcome back, guys, here for more Clash Royale League Asia. I'm Valdez with Paper Thin. We're bringing you the action live. We did just see Kingzone Dragon X take out OGN Entus 2-0. It was pretty one-sided as as OGN did not even take one game. But guys, before we get into anything else, we do have a VCR prepared for you guys, so let's hop into that right now.
OP 팀의 장점은 일단 2대2에서 확실히 세다는 점하고
팀플 잘하는 것도 맞는데 저는 개인적으로 저희 팀이 되게 연구를 많이 한다 생각하거든요. 예를 들어서 골렘 벌룬, 라바, 석궁, 건물덱 이런 거 다 저희가 처음 했거든요. 시즌2에는 이제 더 새로운 것들을 많이 보여드리겠습니다.
일단 샌드박스 팀에는 좀 소식을 들었는데요. 이제 기대주도 영입했다라고 들었습니다.
안녕하세요. 샌드박스 팀 소속 신입 사가둑이라고 합니다.
새로 영입된 썬더라는 선수입니다.
그 선수의 나이가
아 너무 하시네 이거. 일단 나이는 들었어요. 사실 그렇게 어릴 줄은
2002년생 17살.
17살입니다. 네.
17살? 얼굴 봤었는데. 확실히 좀 어린 나이에 친구들이 들어오다 보니까 좀 많이 활발하네요. 많이 시끄러워지고.
누가 제일 잘해줘요?
저 같은 경우는 이도 수태도 그 형이 진짜 가장 잘해주는 것 같아요. 15살 차이입니다. 호그나 딱 보면은 미소를 지어주세요. 그 기분이 진짜 너무 좋아요. 그때 딱 볼 때마다 그 미소를 볼 때마다 그 미소가 없으면 솔직히 저는 조금 아직도 적응이 다 잘 안 되지 않았을까 그런 생각이 좀 들어요. 아직도.
일단 샌드박스 팀을 생각을 하면 시즌1 때도 좋은 기억이 있기 때문에
선수 영입을 안 하셨던데 저희 팀에는 이제 랭커 2명이 왔거든요. 2명한테 다 올킬 당하실 거니까
달라진 게 없는 게 단점이 아니라 장점이라고 생각을 하고요.
일단은 저희 지난 시즌 성적이 한국전이 되게 좀 처참했기 때문에 이악 물고 한번 가보도록 하겠습니다.
맛있는 덮밥으로 만들어 드리겠습니다.
Well, that was nice to hear from the two teams. I can't wait to see him turn into a rice with toppings. I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
Chasiu kind of living up to his name there. You know, Chasiu, of course, is a type of ramen meat you can get, I believe. Or is it just a type of ramen? Just call that.
It's the meat.
It's the meat, right? I thought so. It's like the pork, right?
Yeah, the sliced pork you get on the side of your ramen. It's very delicious, as is his play. But OP Gaming overall did end up in 9th place last season, 5 and 6. So looking for a better performance this time around.
Yeah, this is the one team of the Koreans that started out very strong but did not finish strong. They won their first 2 games in the regional round robin, but then they went on later to falter against some of the other teams from SEA and Japan and the like. Since then, they're looking to come back. They had a lot of success against Sandbox last season. They 2-0'd them pretty handily. So can they do it again this year? Or has Sandbox new members improved their team even more?
Well, they said that it gave them some energy, but can it actually bring them to some more victories here? They did do pretty well in Season 1. They were 7 and 4, one of the better teams that we did have on the Korean side. But the two new members that you were mentioning, Sado and Thunder, coming out here on the list that we do have. Thunder is actually going to be playing in the 2v2 match to start off the night, so some of that fresh blood they got on the team is going to have to prove themselves in the first matchup.
Yeah, and kind of an interesting choice here. They must really like what they're seeing out of Thunder, because last season when they had Beaver and Connie together, they had a pretty good win percentage, better than 50%. In fact, quite a bit better than 50%, almost, I think about 72% or so if I'm doing some quick mental math here. But they played very well together, so kind of surprising to see them go in this direction. So there must be some really good play coming out of Sato.
Yeah, definitely has to be some sort of new strategy. OP Gaming, we're talking about how they are very creative, right? They love to bringing in the new strategies, but I'm curious to see what they're going to bring in for Season 2 now with some of the changes we've seen to the cards, the nerfs, the buffs, some new cards as well. And will we just see Royal Hogs every day of the week here in 2v2?
Well,
looks like perhaps, as it was not banned out in any of the matches.
Well, this is kind of interesting. We do not have a tornado ban here in our first set, in our 2v2. We have the Golem and the Lava Hound being banned. So that's very fascinating. So that makes it a lot harder to use cards like the Royal Hogs or Hog Rider or the Miner, those kind of things. A lot of the staple cards that you maybe are used to seeing in 2v2, especially these days with the Royal Hogs and the Miner. It's going to be a lot harder to use those cards this time.
Yeah, definitely will be. I'm curious I would love to just talk to these players and think about why they went for these bans themselves. Maybe they thought the enemies would ban out the Tornado, but nobody ended up doing that so far. Also, the Elixir Collector ban from Season2 in the 1v1, as well as the Cannon card ban from the side of OP Gaming. So some new stuff coming out here too.
Hey, stealing that ban from Expo Master. Expo Master used to just ban the Elixir Collector every round no matter what, even if his opponent had never ever played Elixir Collector in his history.
Yeah.
But here we go. Here's the results from last season. Wee-chan, a very strong 2v2 player, 14-12 with 1 tie overall. His partner today, Sungwon, they played pretty well together, 6-7. I believe when they played together, they were about 6-7 as well. So yeah, Sungwon's played every 2v2 he has done with Wee-chan.
Also have to bring in the ties column, as there was the 1 tie from these two guys in that 2v2. But we'll see if we do get any more ties here in Season 2. Definitely not something we see all too often. But none of these players playing in the King of the Hill. Of course, we do have that new setup that if you play in the 2v2, you can't play in the 1v1.
Right.
And you can show up in the King of the Hill later on. But haven't gotten a chance to sample that one, as day number 1 done yesterday was all 2-0s, ended in about an hour and 40 minutes. And over here, we have already had the 1 quick 2-0 by Kingzone Dragon X. So we'll see if this can be a little bit closer jumping into our second match.
Yeah, a lot of unknowns here, especially for Sandbox, who's got 2 new members. Thunder on the right, he is their brand new member, but 6,727 trophies is his highest. That's quite good. Over on the left-hand side, Beaver, he's been pretty strong in both 1v1 and 2v2. Overall, probably their most consistent player on Sandbox.
You can see the difference between these two players. Beaver looking a lot more comfortable. Thunder, haven't really seen his eyes yet, you know, cast to the ground kind of. He smiles as I say that. He heard me say that. It's like, oh, those English casters. But yeah, we already saw. Yeah, we already saw the 1 player earlier was pretty young and kind of got nervous. 1 crown, but we'll see if he can Thunder here do a little bit better.
They're having a good laugh over there. That's good. Got to loosen up. I thought it was interesting that one of Thunder's favorite cards that he listed under there is the Bowler. Yeah, you don't see that card a lot in competitive Clash Royale.
Yeah. We'll see if he brings that out today. It's pretty good for the bridge spammy type of decks, but I hear that music changing up, so we might be getting into our strategic 1 minute. Now that they know the bans here, we'll see what decks these players come up with.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. A lot of the bigger beatdown cards are being banned here, so it really limits your options if you wanted to play a different kind of beatdown deck with Giants or P.E.K.K.A. or something like that. So it feels like maybe we'll see a lot of cycle decks where there's a lot of, like, you know, the lower cost cards like Princess, a lot of Goblins. It's going to be difficult, though, because both teams are going to pretty much guaranteed to be using Tornado. So things like Goblin Barrel, Miner, Hog Rider, those kind of cards become a little more difficult to use. And in fact, in general, cards are a lot more difficult to use when Tornado's in play, because you can drag just about any card over to that King Tower.
Yeah, we'll see if Giant Snowball gets any play now that the Tornado is going to be played by both sides, as you mentioned. We don't know that 100%, but we can kind of say 100% that it is going to happen. Hey, maybe one of these teams brings in something crazy and we have a whole new meta develop tonight. Favorite thing, you never know.
That. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see something new out of either of these teams. Really exciting stuff. We've been seeing nothing but the Royal Hog spam. Will that change this time around because Tornado's in play? Does it make that big of a difference?
Well, That's definitely a question to find out here. These guys, they practice every day as they are professionals, and no doubt they'll know exactly what to expect going into game number 1 here for the 2v2. And I just got the word that it is ready to go. So for Clash Royale League Asia, let's jump into our second 2v2 of the night. OP Gaming up against Sandbox. Here we go. Beaver and Thunder for Sandbox up against Sungwon. Lichan. Already the miners have been showing their faces. You can see the cards this time in 2v2 and get a good idea of what these players are going to play.
Right, so of course we see Tornado. It looks like it's more of a cycle, but interestingly enough, Sandbox does have that P.E.K.K.A available, so they want to go for that beatdown. They're going to use the post. Oh, Royal Giant going down. They'll let the P.E.K.K.A to counter it.
Yeah, immediately does come in. Now there are some other cards to help out with that P.E.K.K.A, but it's pushed forward, and already you can see that Royal Giant is going to be taken out here, but the Electro Wizard, the Bomb Tower, everything getting to work is going to take out the P.E.K.K.A, and overall the Royal Giant did more damage. They got a little push going.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting because cards like Prince, Inferno Dragon, P.E.K.K.A are hard counters to Royal Giant, but all you have to do is let it get a couple shots up. They even had to use a Zap there to prevent one of its shots.
A bunch of head shaking already coming out of Thunder as he's not happy with the way things have gone so far. Definitely a good read to bring in the P.E.K.K.A up against the Royal Giant that gets played here, but it's not all what it may seem once you get enough cards into play here in the 2v2.
Yeah, they're still getting quite a bit of value out of it. Now the Poison and the Miner combo coming down, countered with the Ice Spirit and the Valkyrie, doing a good job cleaning that up, not taking too much damage there.
Notice the placement of the Miner in the front, but no Tornado that I noticed here on the side of OP Gaming. Unless I missed it earlier, we do have the one up in the top side for Sandbox. Haven't been able to use that another time.
P.E.K.K.A coming down again to counter the Royal Giant. A Valkyrie there as well, so it's only going to get only one shot off. Didn't even get a second shot off, so that's a big victory in that small battle for Sandbox.
And now this is the big question. Can they stop the follow-up push? The first time they had the Electro Wizard, they had the Mega Minion doing that damage. Looks like they will be able to even after that second poison comes down. And another Royal Giant is going to show up here, but good placement on the Tombstone to deny it getting any hits onto that Princess Tower just yet. Is going to get one in the end.
Yeah, Sandbox has a lot of counters to the Royal Giant in their arsenal here, so it's going to be really difficult now that OP Gaming's trick has been shown very early on to make this work. Already we're seeing that Miner doing a ton of damage, down to 310 on the left Princess turret.
Yeah, it's just so much poke damage, but on the other side they do have a decent amount. It's very close, actually. The double poison. Who's going to be able to take it out here, though? Oh! Double poison coming on in. It's ticking down, but the Thunder comes in to take it out, but with 3 seconds. They are going to take away the other side Princess Tower, and we will go into sudden death.
Wow, this is an extremely even match.
Yeah.
Both teams have a lot of counters to what the other one's trying to do. Great Electro Wizard here, but they have to use Fireball to take it out and the Bats to limit the damage from the Royal Giant.
Just want to get a couple of hits anyway. Looks like it will get 2 onto that tower. Cannon Cart going to show up here. Didn't see too much of him earlier on. Bomb Tower in response, but see if they can get some follow-up chip damage with that King Tower. It's going to be harder to make that Miner get that work done.
Yeah, getting a ton of value out of those Bats, out of that Bomb Tower. Here comes the Royal Giant. Now you're trying to place it behind the Valkyrie there. You put it on the right-hand side, so the Valkyrie is the one that kind of gets in the way of things first to soak up a little bit of that P.E.K.K.A and Prince damage.
That's the idea. Good job with the Miner there to actually deny the hits onto the P.E.K.K.A. Now the Prince is going to come forward. And, well, enough damage to take out the Infernal Dragon here. So, good trade overall, I'd say, for Sandbox as they push ahead.
Yeah, these pushes from Sandbox are really scary. Because Royal Giant doesn't do any damage to anything except the tower, you have to find a way to get value from it. But these pushes that follow up, ooh, a nice lightning, though. Really nice lightning.
And lightning getting immense value there, going to help take out the Valkyrie. The Inferno Dragon as well, and another Royal Giant coming down here. Remember, guys, it's in overtime, so you can get so many of these picks out.
There's the tornado. We haven't seen that in a while. That is needed to keep that Royal Giant damage back while they play the P.E.K.K.A.
Forward this time around, Electro Wizard once again with the Ice Spirit to keep it back. And just kind of look at all the bats coming on in. They're going to be sniped out of the air. Woo. Relatively healthy P.E.K.K.A, but it does get taken out in the end. Look at that Princess Tower up in the right side. That's the big question. Can they take it out? Lightning gonna come in once again, but perfect tombstone placement. Trying to get the one shot, but they can't after the tombstone.
This is so close. Both teams trading damage about 300 to 400 per exchange. This is so interesting. Another miner and double poison coming out. Can the Frost Spirit save it? A Royal Giant comes down in the top left.
Oh, the poison, but that Royal Giant, as you said, it gets the last hit and 37 health left available as OP Gaming just barely squeak out a victory in game 1.
Wow. That was one of the closest games of Clash Royale I have ever seen. Both teams just doing about the same amount of damage to each other with each push. Really fascinating stuff.
And it was with very different decks as well. You know, we saw the P.E.K.K.A up against the Royal Giant and even the Inferno Dragon as well alongside the P.E.K.K.A. So they were expecting big stuff anyway, but weren't able to quite stop the Royal Giant from getting the better value.
Well, I really liked the setup that OP Gaming had there to protect the Royal Giant. They had the Valkyrie to protect it from ground things. They have the Electro Wizard, Lightning, and Zap to protect it from the Inferno Dragon. They didn't have as good of answers for P.E.K.K.A, and that's why Sandbox was able to continue their pushes as well. They just didn't have anything that was quite going to do that single target damage to P.E.K.K.A or delay it long enough to get that single target damage. The best thing you have available there is the Valkyrie.
Some discussion going on over here. None of the players on the desks are going to come up and talk. But the players that are playing, they're just going to go over what happened in that last one, kind of gather themselves after that extremely close game number 1. We were hoping for a more, even matchup here, and well, we got it already to start it off.
Yeah, really exciting stuff. I'm really happy they played Royal Giant. That's my card.
Yeah.
I know that card in and out. Love that card. Now somebody's got to play Sparky, and that will complete my night. Then I will be super happy.
Yeah. How about Royal Giant and Sparky?
That's a great combo.
I hear that's a good paper-thin deck, but either way, guys, it looks like we're ready for game number 2 of this 2v2. So let's jump into that right now. OP Gaming taking the first win in this 2v2. We'll see if they can get another one. Let's jump into the game right now. Here we are onto it, and you guys can see some of the mix-ups in the cards, especially by OP Gaming here. Mega Knight double for both of them, as well as that Balloon and Raid. So definitely be seeing something new from them.
Yeah, this is really curious. Double Mega Knight. I like it, and the Balloon followed up as well. So some pretty standard stuff otherwise. Electro Wizard coming down, the bats coming out from Sandbox, but they don't want to reveal their hand yet. They don't want to show that P.E.K.K.A. The card comes out, it's going to pretty easily take out that Electro Wiz, but there's the Flying Machine to follow up the guards.
Fireball trade, they really just want to push forward this cannon card. But there it is, the first Mega Knight is spotted alongside the Lumberjack, so they just want to tank it up with the range and push it forward. Double Inferno Dragon, but it's super fast. Oh, looks like that Tornado, though, is going to pull it back, but the Zap is going to make it get into the range and put that bomb down.
Wow, that Zap was huge. I thought for sure after that Tornado, that Balloon was not going to make it there, but the Zap allows it to get that one crucial hit that you really need out of the Balloon.
Zap MVP this time around. A decent amount of damage traded back, but definitely the advantage going the way of OP Gaming. That Balloon just barely able to get in range. You can tell they weren't expecting that.
No, I mean, I was not expecting double Mega Knight. That is just wild. Interesting here, but they don't drop it right on top of the miner. They don't get that damage from the ball when it comes in. But nonetheless, a pretty strong push coming here in the left side from OP Gaming. That fireball just there to take out the graveyard. Prince doing, and the Poison doing some work here.
Yeah, Poison, fantastic, but they're gonna try once again for the balloon, this time with the Rage, the Inferno Dragon. Will it be enough? Should be with that Tornado.
Yep, they had to use another zap there as well. I don't think that Sandbox needed to do that. That was a bit of a mistake there. I think it was Thunder who did it.
Well, Inferno Dragon trying to push forward is going to be responded to here. The Poisons have been really on point this time around from Sandbox.
Yeah, Sandbox wants to get this Lumberjack Mega Knight Balloon combo going. They got a lot of the targets on the ground. The Mega Knight there as well in front of it this time. The P.E.K.K.A to counter the Mega Knight. He does so much damage to it.
Trying to pull everything forward here. Good Poison response with the cannon card, pushing that P.E.K.K.A forward with the miner. Looks like they might have enough to just push forward. The cannon card is in range, but it looks like it's not going to be able to be fighting afterwards, but it does not matter as they do take out that Princess Tower just before the timer does go out, and so Sandbox able to tie it up.
Yeah, Sandbox, interestingly enough there, didn't really change up their deck too much. They stuck with about the same kind of thing, and I don't think that is what OB Gaming expected, because Mega Knight is not good against P.E.K.K.A. It does, in fact, lose to it. So, and that's a Elixir disadvantage for you if you're the Mega Knight player.
It's always a bad feel when your Mega Knight runs straight into a P.E.K.K.A or anything like that. But guys, we do have a timeout here from OP Gaming call, so we're gonna do a little bit of discussion after their creative deck didn't work to bring out the victory.
Yeah, so this is gonna be tough for them. Will Sandbox opt to do more of the beatdown with the P.E.K.K.A? It seemed to be mostly effective. I mean, they almost won the first game even. They only lost by a smidge. I think it was like 20 points left on that last Princess Tower, which is about as close as it gets in Clash Royale.
Yeah.
So will they opt to go back to the Royal Giant kind of thing, or do they have another answer for P.E.K.K.A? There are a few things available. Sparky's not really good against P.E.K.K.A. It actually kind of loses to it a little bit. You could do something like mini P.E.K.K.A's okay to at least delay a little bit. You could use Knight. Regular Knight is pretty strong against P.E.K.K.A. It has a lot of hit points and can kite it. You can use the Ice Golem. That can kite the P.E.K.K.A really well. So there's a lot of options here available for OP Gaming if they think Sandbox is going to continue down this route.
Sandbox, as you mentioned, is showing the same thing 2 times in a row, but I see them mixing with some of the cards. Could always be mind games, you know, maybe they're just swapping out 2 of the cards over and over, like, hey, maybe we do this, but actually it's the same deck. But yeah, you know, they could throw a curveball, maybe OP Gaming thinking about the 1 or 2 cards to counter P.E.K.K.A, and then we just don't see it in game number 3. It's part of the fun part here of competitive Clash Royale, is that this strategic timing window where you can take a timeout and really discuss what you think you need to win game 3.
Yeah, and I think it's a really fun part of the game, right? Because you have to play more than 1 game. You know, on the ladder, you're just stuck with playing 1 game at a time against 1 person, so you don't get a lot of time to, you know, change up your deck, you know, and really adjust what the other team is doing. Some other things I could think of that we might see here, we might see the Giant Skeleton. That's not bad against P.E.K.K.A because by the time it drops that bomb, P.E.K.K.A can't get away from it fast enough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options here for both teams. Maybe we'll see a clone deck come out. Maybe we'll see, you know, who knows?
Definitely also seems like Thunder, the player on the side of Sandbox, our new player, the 17-year-old, is looking a lot more comfortable this time around. So you mentioned how maybe he made a mistake or 2 in game 1 and 2, but looking like after that timeout that he's calmed down a little bit, and you guys know what that music means. It looks like we're ready to jump into game number 3 of our 2v2 to see who's going to take the first match of OP Gaming up against Sandbox. Let's jump into it right now.
Oh, interesting. OP Gaming opting to counter with their own P.E.K.K.A themselves.
There you go.
Like it. Fight fire with fire, Valdez.
Sometimes that's what you got to do, and look at this, they're going to reveal it right away. I was a little bit surprised to see that, but of course it does shut down the miner immediately, but you can just get your own defensive P.E.K.K.A. on the side of Sandbox. And it should do enough tanking here for that Princess turret. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, they have the poison there to take out the Tombstone. Ooh, what a decently good tornado there, because now it will activate the King Tower and it doesn't get any hits. A really, really nice tornado.
Pretty much perfect, right? They dragged it into the Tombstone and then into the King Tower. So, well, there you go, Sandbox. That was a very pleasant play from you. P.E.K.K.A. pushing forward this time around. Zap going to take out the Electro Wizard to make sure that they do stop the push. The health advantage is going to go the way of OP Gaming, but of course those King Towers are going to do that extra damage.
Right, so we'll see how OP Gaming tries to respond to this. They really didn't get too much done. They are a little bit ahead in terms of damage. That left-hand Princess Tower for Sandbox is down to 2070. That Prince will be stopped by the P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. takes about a third of his health damage there from the hits.
You can see that they're just pressing forward. I think you have to take out the Tombstone first and then send in the balloon if you want to go for it. Looks like they're going to wait on anything right here. They wanted to bait out some cards and go for their own lightning. Didn't kill the P.E.K.K.A. actually, so we'll eventually have to take that out.
Yeah, that's not too big of a deal. They're able to get the P.E.K.K.A. The poison does come down, does some damage to the Mega Minion and the Infernal Dragon. But that, you know, that lightning is a decent little counter to the P.E.K.K.A. there. It does do quite a bit of damage to it. This Infernal Dragon's not going anywhere. There's a lot of bats, and now the Miner comes in, countered with the P.E.K.K.A. here. Ooh, an Electro Wizard to stop those bats and skeletons.
Good timing on that one. Gonna stop the Valkyrie from getting in range too, and so the P.E.K.K.A. and the Electro Wizard together really working out. This is the time for the balloon to push forward with the rage, the lightning as well. Didn't do enough damage, but the tornado is there to pull it back.
Okay, those bats saved the day there. That fireball actually pushed the balloon further away from the graveyard, making it difficult for them, so they had to throw the bats down as well to prevent the balloon from doing any more damage.
Speaking of damage, haven't had too much, as very evenly mixed decks here from both of the sides. Just go to the side of OP Gaming, as they're very content to just go ahead and push forward, force a response, and then put down the poison and try to get those bombs in position anyway. See if they can get in range this time.
Right. Ooh, a nice lightning. So, a big advantage here for OP Gaming. They've got the push, they've got poison and lightning. They just have to defend another push or two from OP Gaming, and this game should be able to be theirs. But a huge push coming from OP Gaming.
Yeah, double Miner as well as the poison. Gonna take out that Electro Wizard very fast. And the Prince, look at it, right behind, full health right now. Mega Minion is gonna get on top of it. That one defensive Miner isn't enough. The P.E.K.K.A. should get the one hit, and that it will. Is not gonna take it out, but the poison will. And it looks like Sandbox gonna come ahead and pull out the big upset in game number 3.
Yeah, a great push there by Sandbox. They had to make it work in that moment, because otherwise there's just too much damage from the lightning and the poison if OP Gaming was allowed to make another push. So fantastic job by them. That gives them the first set of the match. Really exciting stuff here from Sandbox and the new player Thunder.
Yeah, really a good showing, and a very entertaining series to watch and cast, as it was close every single game that we did have in the 2v2. Of course, some interesting decks being pulled forward from OP Gaming. They liked to bring in the creativity right to the Royal Giant to start, and then they brought in Double Mega Knight with the Rage Balloon, and then trying to counter the P.E.K.K.A. with the P.E.K.K.A. nearly worked actually, but a very nice tornado to start off the match from Sandbox. Really helped them get the ball rolling, and a fantastic late game push as well.
Yeah, that was a really clutch tornado. The balloon got drifted over towards that graveyard, and then that tornado was able to pull it far enough that the other Princess Tower, the right-hand one, started shooting it, and the balloon died right in front of the King Tower. We'll see it here in the replay, I'm sure. That was a really creative tornado.
We're taking a look here at game number 1 replay first. The double poison coming in with 4 seconds left from both sides. They barely take it out, and this is one of the closest matches we ever saw. The poison just barely isn't enough to take out that last tower, and well, 37 health is enough to have them win the game.
Yeah, that was really exciting, that first game. So close. One of the closest Clash Royale matches we've had here in Clash Royale Asia. Now here's the push from OP Gaming. This double Inferno Dragon does a lot of work to that miner. The Musketeer able to get a few hits, but quite a bit of damage. I think almost 300 or 400 damage from that Inferno Dragon. That's a lot.
Did see, of course, the balloon from the side of OP Gaming do that mega damage on the left side first, which was a good push as well. But in the end, Sandbox ended up winning that one. We're not going to get to see the tornado with the balloon to start it off, but you guys will notice that the King Tower is activated on the side of Sandbox.
Yeah, that was just one of the most beautiful plays I've ever seen in 2v2. Here's the final push. All you need is one hit from that P.E.K.K.A. That is like 650 damage that comes out of that thing. It is a monster. You cannot let it hit your towers in competitive Clash Royale.
And you can see the difference between One Crown, who is a bit devastated, disappointed from losing his 1v1 in his first competitive match, versus Thunder, who was jumping up and down. He was super happy that in that super close 2v2, he was able to get the victory for his team in his first match. But enough of the 2v2. It looks like we're ready to jump into 1v1. Will be Dabong TV on the side of OP Gaming up against Season2 on the side of Sandbox.
Yeah, so Dabong wasn't necessarily OP Gaming's 1v1 specialist last season. They relied more heavily on Jin TV, but this time opting to go with Dabong, who's pretty decent here. 4-3 is not bad. You have a positive win record in competitive Clash Royale. That's pretty good. Most players don't have a positive win record in either side of it. You know what I mean? It's so difficult to win consistently. That's why somebody like, Expo Master is so impressive.
See that he likes to use that Bandit, one of the cards he's played the most and had some good success with. 2-1 with that card. Haven't seen it too much tonight, but definitely is one of the mainstays. But let's take a look at Season2 over here, the King Slasher. Only player that defeated Mikamboya from Season 1. And, well, can he slash the rest of the players here in the tournament? You'd have to think that bringing him in for the 1v1 on a roster of 6 players, they have confidence in this guy.
Yeah, this guy's been their best 1v1 player for sure. Very, very strong player, 14-8. I mean, that's a really nice win-loss record here. He's very, very good. He's very patient. You can see he prefers, like most players, the Mega Minion is super popular, the Miner is super popular. They're just cards that give you a lot of value for them, because you have to react to them, especially with the Miner, because they have to react with something like a Mega Minion. You're going to get a little bit of damage on the tower, and you're going to get buy time. By the time that Miner comes down and starts hitting things, it gives you a lot of time to, regain your elixir and drop some other cards.
Yeah, very true. So, I think they meant King Slayer, by the way, guys. King Slasher is kind of an interesting one. I know a lot of people were calling Mikamboya the King, as he is quite the player. But either way, guys, let's get into this. You guys can see the bans up in the top left. Cannon card taken away by OP Gaming, and then the Elixir Collector by the side of Season2. So, do a little bit of that Expo Master banning, as you mentioned.
Yeah. First time I can remember in a long time seeing the card be banned, but we've seen it be very prevalent in both the 2v2s and the 1v1s, so not too surprising to see it. It's a very powerful card right now, does a lot of damage, and if you can get it on the other side of the bridge, it's pretty much going to hit the tower. It doesn't always. There is a small spot after it crosses the bridge where it will not hit the tower, but if it gets close enough. Now, what's really interesting about this is that Season2 did not ban the Elixir Collector at all last season. So he's scared of something.
Yeah. Maybe some Three Musketeers he's been having trouble with, or some beatdown, or something like that. He just does not want to see it here, Paperthin.
Yeah, exactly correct. You're right with the beatdown. I was just thinking that Night Witch Golem, something like that he's just not comfortable playing against. A really strong deck right now. We've seen it from a few players yesterday. See it a lot on the ladders. It's very much still in the meta. It's a very powerful push. You can throw in a Lumberjack or something else within it to make it even more scary. Or a clone. Oh,
yeah.
Forget it. All right, well, guys, here we go. It's our first game of our 1v1 between OP Gaming and Sandbox. Let's do it.
Here we are, the lovely music of Clash Royale.
It is quite nice. It's very kind of relaxing, kind of like, you know, like 1400s, you know, like something you think you'd hear.
You're plodding along as the prince on your horse, and look at that, the bowler's gonna come out here.
That's interesting. Both players started with Valkyrie, the Mega Minion coming out from Shin2 behind it. Shin2, look at him up in the top left. He looks a little perplexed here. He's a little surprised by this bowler, followed up by the Electro Wizard. Gonna do a number on that Mega Minion. Bowler, a very strong counter to the Witch.
Yeah, he's gonna push her back and does that little bit of poke damage and finishes her off with the fireball. Electro Wizard gets in range of that first tower on the right side. Also going to do a bit of chip damage to the Giant here. So good start already for Dabong, but look at this. We do have the Graveyard Giant combination. Going to pull it back with that Tornado just to deal with the Graveyard. Good start there, but still a lot of damage coming through.
That was almost disastrous for Dabong. The Inferno Dragon got pulled off of the Giant when it got pulled back by that Tornado, and it started attacking some skeletons. He got a little lucky there that there wasn't another skeleton in range.
That's very true. Going for the risky play. Quite pay off for him anyway, as that Giant survived. Was able to help do more damage on the other side. Mentioning this counter, which not going to get in range to do any damage to that one. And here's an Expo. How about that? Well, you got a bowler in the front to do some tanking as well, so we'll see how this pays off.
I was really curious to know what this last card from Dabong was going to be. Expo was not something that was quite crossing my mind, but a really nice poison here from Shin2. He's going to get a lot of value out of that poison, hitting all 4 of the characters available for Dabong on the board.
And you can see he was waiting for that one. Unfortunately for him, though, the bowler does get in range. Relatively clean, though, on the cleanup, I would have to say. Could have gone a lot worse, and the poison, as you mentioned, into Giant Snowball was definitely enough to clean that one up.
Yeah, we're still not sure what Shin2's last card is, what his ace up the sleeve is. Will he save it for the sudden death moment? Is it something like Rocky? I'm actually really curious to see what he's got here. Here comes the Graveyard. Will it follow up with, there's the Tornado. The Valkyrie, it's freeze. Okay, it's freeze.
There you go. And look at that, the Valkyrie as well as a fireball. Looks like that's going to be enough to actually stop it here at the end. Nothing to deal with that Mega Minion. Finally, one card does come down. Pushing forward with the bowler. It's not going to be able to aggro onto that tower. Another Expo comes in here, but the Giant is going to tank a lot of that damage.
Wow, yeah, but that Giant's going to go down really quick. 2 Expos shooting at it. Wow. It's not even going to get to the bridge.
Yeah.
Wow, this is a really strong push here from Dabong. I really like this. This is a really unique deck. Usually when you run Expo, you're going to have another defensive thing with it, like a Tesla Tower or something like that. Some other very defensive unit.
Wrong side there.
Oh.
But eventually got to look at it. Good snowball. Gets the Inferno Dragon in range of the left Princess Tower as well. Means that the rest of this should get cleaned up. Look at the Expo on the left side. The Witch not in place there to actually aggro it so far. It's doing a huge number to that left Princess Tower.
And the Expo gets onto the tower. That is when the Expo is really dangerous. So much damage done to that left tower. But here comes another Graveyard. There's the freeze, but the Electro Wizard was very nicely placed. But will it be enough?
It's not enough. Just enough skeletons spawn, and the Snowball cleans up the kill. So another very close 1v1 with some cool decks, but at the end, Shin2 gonna take that one out for Sandbox.
Yeah, Shin2 looked really concerned at the beginning of that match. I looked up in the corner, and when he saw that bowler, he had the most confused look on his face, just like, what am I gonna see here? Valkyrie bowler? Like, that's pretty rare. And then the Expo came, I mean, that would just make my heart palpitate.
Really cool build. I feel like if you guys wanna take one from tonight, definitely consider even both of the I call them builds, but the decks from this first matchup here. Gotta like the Poison, Snowball, Freeze combination with Giant Graveyard on the side of Season2 as well.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like that. I mean, I've seen the Graveyard with Poison and Freeze before. Giant, I guess that makes sense. You know, it's a cheaper card and you have enough time. He was having a hard time getting that Giant over the bridge. It just basically turned into a defensive card, actually, which worked out well for him. He ended up coming out with the victory. So, interesting stuff. I can't wait to see what they have for us the next game. Really cool stuff there. Both very unique decks, especially from Dabong. That was something I've never quite seen exactly like that.
It's definitely a cool one. I feel like as we go into Season 2 and new updates and new balance changes come in, you have to have new decks prepared and do that research. Clash Royale, obviously a very strategic game, right? You know, down to the placement and the way that you play your cards is going to be the way that you win, but also the deck building, a huge component for this game. So, guys, it looks like we're ready for game number 2 of the 1v1. Dabong up against Season2. Let's see who's going to take it here in game number 2.
Well, here we are, game number 2. Season2 took game number 1. What will they bring here in the second game?
Good question. I feel like Dabong's deck was really nice, but he did lose, right? So
yeah.
it puts a piece of doubt into your mind where you're like, I'm not sure if I want to go for this again, especially because Season2 on the opposite side, he had this deck that worked out. But
I wonder if it was maybe kind of a mistake to drop that Expo on the left side there. Ooh! With the Royal Hogs with the Valkyrie. Getting some decent damage in there. It's actually quite a bit of damage, actually. That's almost 600 damage. That's a lot. Ooh, Expo again. Season2 once again gives a little bit of a sigh there. A little surprised, but the Zappies to counter the Inferno Dragon.
They're going to be good on the defense, but good Ice Wizard placement as well. It should get a lot of damage on the opposite side with that Expo, even after the Fireball does come in. Just the chip damage towards the end, the one last Ice Bolt. And actually, the advantage will go the way of Dabong. He has more health, more Elixir here. And, well, interesting Hogs to just go out straight like that. And they get countered pretty nicely.
Dabong's basically running the exact same deck at this point. We'll see if he's got any other twists in it. He's still got 3 cards we haven't seen. A very different deck from Season2 with the Royal Hogs and the Mega Knight this time.
Definitely trying to get on top of those Expos, I suppose. The Mega Knight's going to be pretty good at doing exactly that. Comes down right in the front and so get a nice little jump here, though not in range of the Expos. Still doing that damage.
Actually, I think the splash did end up hitting the Expo there after it jumped onto the Valkyrie a little bit. But some damage getting done there from the Expo, just a little bit.
Yeah. Not much. A little extra chip, I suppose, towards the end. And Royal Hogs this time on the left side. Once he sees that bowler, Electro Wizard comes down, but it's only good for the drop down. This time Mega Knight going to go onto the right side, really trying to play both lanes here as Season2.
Yeah, that was a really difficult situation for Dabong. Having to drop the Valkyrie and the Electro Wizard on the left-hand side is a lot of Elixir over there. And then Season2 can drop other things on the right-hand side and get a ton of value for it.
And it looked like the push was going to be pretty good in the response, but here come the Royal Hogs, going to be pretty good at taking down an Expo, as you guys can see. Electro Wizard not enough. He needs something else to deal with this. The Valkyrie having to run awkwardly after the Expo goes down, but eventually do take out the Hogs.
And here comes another Mega Knight, immediately followed up by the Inferno Dragon. The Valkyrie there to tank it, though. That was a zap. Yep, that was a zap from Season2 there to kind of delay the Inferno Dragon, dropping his own Inferno Dragon and some Zappies coming down as well.
Expo this time around, it doesn't look like there's any response to the bats here. The Ice Wizard a little bit late on that one, and so Expo not really going to get too much damage dealt here. The Hog's going to come forward, and take out the majority of its health alongside of that Inferno Dragon. Thankfully, a nice extra chip does go his way onto the top side, but again, it's very close here, going with just 2 minutes left in overtime.
Yeah, this is a very, very close game. Okay, Poison, finally, we get to see Dabong's final card. He's opting to try to chip down that tower. He's got the Bowler to try to counter the Mega Knight, but the Mega Knight does win against the Bowler, and the Inferno Dragon locked onto the Ice Wizard with Dabong's Inferno Dragon locked onto the other Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, going head-to-head there, but is he going to have a response to this Expo? It looks like the Zappies always with a very nice portion of health to just tank in the middle. And here comes that Mega Knight, but it looks like he has a very good response in the front line, but a very high-value Fireball that time around hits all 3 targets. Is going to clean up that defensive line.
And what's been kind of slowly happening here for Shinshu is that he's got the Zappies and the Spear Goblins splitting into the 2 lanes, and they're slowly chipping down that left-hand Princess Tower of Dabong. Dabong does have a little bit of advantage on the right side, but on the left side, things are starting to get a little bit low for Dabong.
Fireball comes ahead onto the right side here from Shin2. Just a minute left in overtime, guys. We're getting close to a draw. Neither of these players would want to see that, but very strong push forward. That Inferno Dragon going to lock onto the Mega Knight. Zap is going to help out for now, but still a lot of damage to take out this one tanky target. Gonna try to go with that big one, but it's gonna lock onto that Princess Tower, and it doesn't look like there's another answer for this Expo. Getting very close to taking it out.
It's so weak. Is it quite in poison range? It's very close, but he's got to defend this push. Ooh, a nice tornado coming out from Dabong. If he can get this poison down, and I believe just another hit point of damage.
He needs a little bit to come out here. It's going to be ticking down, but he has 23 health left available. Just needs to cycle to the poison. But can he do it? The Electro Wizard and the Valkyrie in the front to stop the Royal Hawks from coming out here alongside the Tornado. And that one poison should be enough to get the win. There it is with 3 seconds left in overtime. Dabong is going to tie things up in the 1v1.
Wow. That was really close. That went basic. Like, I thought for a little while there, Shinshu might just win because he was able to kind of push both lanes a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just seeing these Spear Goblins and the Zappies just occasionally just coming in there and poking at it a little bit. But then some really nice Expo play here from Dabong. I'm liking what I'm seeing. He's doing a good job placing it, getting some damage onto that Mega Knight. A good job with the Bowler and the Ice Wizard to kind of counter that Mega Knight. Now, the Bowler loses straight up to the Mega Knight normally, but with the Ice Wizard there, it slows down the Mega Knight's already very slow attack quite a bit.
Well, guys, we are going to have a timeout here for Shin2 on the side of Sandbox. They would love to get this win and close it out 2-0 and not have to go to that King of the Hill. It's on a knife's edge, and you can see that Shin2 is feeling a little bit defeated after that last one. A super close game. But what is his answer going to be to the Expo? If I'm Dabong, I mean, I get close in game number 1, I win game number 2. I don't think I would switch up my deck all that much.
Yeah, I don't. If you're feeling comfortable with it, I say if it's working, just keep going with it. You feel, you've got a lot of counters to a lot of different things. I'm trying to think if I'm Shinshu and I really think that he's gonna do this Expo stuff again. Balloon wouldn't be too bad. We didn't see anything that could really counter Balloon from Dabong. I could definitely see that being played here. La Balloon would be okay. I think Balloon especially might be pretty decent.
I'd have to agree. I feel like the Fireball is okay, but that Expo is surprisingly tanky, even with the Fireball getting insane value on an Ice Wizard, a Valkyrie, and the Expo. If you don't have something to tank it up in the front line, it's just going to get that extra 300, even 400 damage at times on the last little sliver of health that it has, and that's the most annoying feeling. I'm sure you guys who play Clash out there know what I'm talking about. When you're so close to stopping the Expo, but eventually he gets the better of you.
Yeah, exactly. Those Expos can be so frustrating sometimes if you're just not able to cycle to the right cards to counter it. If you're forced to drop like a Mega Knight or something like that purely as a defense instead of being able to use it you know, like let's say you have Giant, that's the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
You have to use Giant defensively like that to soak up Expo hits. That can become a problem real fast, as we kind of saw in Game 1, but Shin2 was able to make it work in Game 1. Game 2, the Mega Knight wasn't just quite able to get it done there.
Mega Knight kind of having a lackluster performance tonight. We saw it lose in the 2v2 as well and lose here in the 1v1. If I'm him, maybe just go back to game number 1 and go with what worked. We were talking about the Giant for defense, but at least he was able to win the game. We'll see if he can do it here. It's all down to this for the 1v1. Who's going to take it? Can Dabong force the King of the Hill? Or will Shin2 be able to take the win for his team 2-0?
Well, Valdez, are we going to see a little waiting? Or are we going to get dropping right away? Okay. Dabong's taking his hands off the phone. Okay, the Zappies come out from Shin2. And again, the bowler. It looks like maybe once again, Dabong's kind of just doing the same thing. There isn't much different here. Okay, here we go. Pekka from Shin2 this time. A very different card coming out.
That's definitely one way to deal with a bowler in Expo, and a lot of stuff. Even the Valkyrie, if you can try to two-shot it down, it's not going to be all that bad. Doesn't get knocked back by the bowler. These bats, interesting choice. Just going to try to help chip it out here. Really nice fireball, actually, to get that with the zap. And, well, 6 elixir for 7. Not so bad. The Royal Hogs going to be using response on the left side. Not that much elixir available, but the tornado is going to be enough to pull it into the King Tower. Still, though, a lot of damage on the left side here by Shin2, so a decent trade overall for him.
A great split push by Shin2. This is something that's really powerful to do with Pekka. Put Pekka into one side of the map, let him get towards the bridge, and then you drop something like the Royal Hogs or the Battle Ram onto the other side. It's very difficult for your opponent to defend that.
Could see that he didn't have much elixir to deal with it outside of a tornado. Ended up being okay for Dabong, but generally not so awesome. We do have a Ghost, actually. Ghost coming out here onto the left side, so a new mix-up as well here from Shin2.
And this is interesting. Dabong is forced to drop his Valkyrie. Follows it up with the Expo, though. Trying to counter with his own kind of split push. He's going to get a lot of damage onto that left-hand Princess Tower.
Oh, man, that's huge damage. The Electro Wizard is going to tank up this left side, too. Good zap to retarget it onto the Pekka, or else we've been seeing even more damage onto the left side, but gonna nearly even it up here. Just about 184 damage ahead now is Shin2.
Yeah, really interesting play from both of these players. Picking good times to do some split pushing. Not a bad fireball, but it didn't get the bowler. You would have liked to have had that damage.
Really would have, and now that bowler going to be full health here on the left side. At least the Pekka going to come in and tank up a lot of that Expo damage. Would love for the Inferno Dragon to get onto the Pekka, and it will. In the front line, the Zap here going to retarget it after all, but it's still alive, and that Expo with the fireball is going to barely push it back, but it does get a little bit of chip damage in the end. Another close game we have here.
Yeah, really nice tornado there from Dabong to pull that flying machine over to the other lane to keep that Electro Wizard alive. It really bought him enough time to get that Expo to retarget onto the left-hand Princess Tower of Shin2.
Bit of a defensive Expo this time around from the side of Dabong. Wants to take the overtime a little bit slower here, but the Royal Hogs going to jump right over after the Zappies coming on in. Fantastic tornado. It's going to buy him a lot of time and keep that Expo alive.
Yeah, a pretty even elixir exchange between the two of them. The Hogs did do quite a bit of damage to the Expo. He was forced to drop the E-Wiz on top of his own Expo. Now, Dabong in a bit of a tough position here. If you're forced to use the Expo as defense only, that means you're almost trying to play for a draw here.
This time with the Royal Hogs, Shin2 says no to the draw, as it's going to get close. Eventually pop out there in the end. But still Dabong with the lead on that left side. See how this does come in. Another defensive expo. Flying Machine, interesting position. Not sure if he wanted that to target onto the bowler or the expo. Ends up doing a good deal of damage to the bowler to stop him from pushing forward.
Yeah, but does get caught by that very nicely placed poison from Dabong. Uh-oh, here come these hogs. They're getting some damage onto the towers. Both of Dabong's towers below 1,500 hit points, but Shin-Chu's top left is at 800.
That's going to be the idea here. Really nice P.E.K.K.A placement though onto the bowler. That's going to come forward and try to deal with this Inferno Dragon, and it just barely isn't able to take it out.
That Flying Machine's got to go. Okay, his P.E.K.K.A still got about a quarter health. Here come the hogs. A big push coming
and
from
the Flying Machine is going to aggro onto that one, and he's going to be able to win it for his team. Just barely pulling it out, getting the value from the P.E.K.K.A, and is able to follow it up with that final push. Flying Machine and the hogs. So Season2 was looking defeated after game 2, but he pulls it out here to win for his team.
Yeah, nice P.E.K.K.A play there. The beatdown working for him, taking a lot of damage from those expos, and I think eventually Dabong started to realize that, my expos aren't able to get onto the towers unless I put them in a different lane, unless I switch lanes with it. So all Shin-Chu has to do is be very patient with his P.E.K.K.A, wait for that expo to come down, and let the P.E.K.K.A soak up a lot of that damage, because the P.E.K.K.A has an insane amount of hit points.
Shin-Chu living up to his name, the King Slayer. Dabong, not the king, but he slayed someone tonight, gets the win for his team, and Dabong gonna be left wanting over here on the edge of his team desk. It means that we will be hearing from the side of Sandbox. I'm curious to see what they have to say. But first of all, we will have this replay.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear Shin-Chu's thoughts, because he looks stressed most of this match. I mean, you can see him there, he kind of nodded, okay. I loved this first deck, the giant graveyard freeze poison. Really powerful. So much damage. Forced through some fireball there from Dabong. So a great elixir trade there for Shin-Chu, because he gets so much damage onto that Princess.
The Electro Wizard not enough to stop those coming in. The freeze was perfect. This was game number 2. Dabong was able to strike back. He was trying so hard with the Mega Knight to actually take it out, but as we mentioned before, if you keep the Expo for just enough alive towards the end, you can really do a number if you don't have an answer.
Right, the Mega Knight just not quite as good of a counter to the Expo. It just doesn't do enough damage. It has a very slow DPS. Yes, it has an AoE, which is nice when people are playing cards like, Goblin Hand, Skeleton, something like that. Or even if they're playing something like Royal Giant, Mega Knight doesn't do well against it. But in this case, it wasn't quite the right pick against the Expo.
See, in the start of this one, I was getting worried already for Dabong as the King Tower was aggroed, but it did a huge amount of damage on the left side, about 700. So on the Expos, Dabong really trying to fight back against that P.E.K.K.A. Worked out decently well, but in the end he was able to push on in. But guys, we're gonna jump over to the interview, and I'll help translate this one again. We'll see how I do this time.
You did great on the first one, Dalton.
Let's see what these guys have to say.
오늘의 두 번째 매치 오픽게이밍과 샌드박스의 대결 함께 하셨는데요. 샌드박스 팀이 오픽게이밍을 꺾고 시즌2의 첫 승리를 거뒀습니다. 승리의 주역 썬더 선수와 인터뷰를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 네, 안녕하세요, 썬더 선수.
안녕하세요.
자, 오늘 첫 데뷔전이었는데 승리를 거뒀어요. 기분이 어떠신가요?
일단 첫 경기라 형들한테는 별로 부담 없다고 했는데 제 자신한테 좀 부담이 되게 많았는데 그래도 비버 형이 뒤에서 많이 도와주셔가지고 그래서 이기게 된 것 같습니다.
I wasn't pressured by my older brothers. I was pressured by
형하고
myself.
같이 2대2 호흡을 맞추면서 승리를 거뒀는데 비버 형이 많이 옆에서
I was able to
도와줬던가요?
get the win, and I was happy.
아무래도 숙소를 같이 합숙하다 보니까 그 비버 형이 저 많이 챙겨주고 사도도 많이 챙겨주고 그러다 보니 팀워크도 잘 맞아서 이렇게 잘
Yeah, the
된 것
older
같습니다.
brothers really take care of us. Me and
아,
Sato,
네,
the new
17살
younger
첫 대회인데
players.
긴장은 안
on the
됐는지
team.
한번 듣고 싶습니다.
You're very young. You're 17. Were you not nervous today?
대기실에서는 긴장이 별로 안 됐는데
I wasn't
막상
nervous in the
무대에서
room.
핸드폰 잡고 해보니까
Once I
되게
was up on
긴장이 엄청
stage,
되더라고요.
I
근데
was definitely
그래도
nervous.
이겼으니 뭐. 네,
네네.
좋습니다.
But
네, 그리고
I was able to win,
2대에서
so I
로얄
was happy.
자이언트 이런 굉장히 특이한 덱들을 준비해서 오셨는데요. 이런 덱은 어떻게 구성을 하신
You had some
건가요?
really interesting decks today. How did you come up with these ideas?
OP 게이밍이 로얄 자이언트 메가나이트 덱 이런 특별한 덱을 들고 왔었는데
OP
혹시
Gaming
당황하거나
had,
그러시진
interesting
않았는지
decks.
예측이 되어 있었던가요?
아, 예상을 못했는데 갑자기 그렇게 나와버리니까 되게 놀랍더라고요. 그래도
We didn't expect it,
저희가
so we were
콜렘이랑
surprised.
라바 벤에서 쌍페카 예상하고 했는데 그래도 노자가 나와서 페카를 했는데 져가지고 좀 되게 아쉬웠습니다.
We played
네,
Pekka 3
그리고
times in a row and still
마지막에
lost to
페카
Royal
한 방으로
Giants, so we
그
were
짜릿한 한 방
a little bit
승리를 거뒀지
unhappy with
않습니까?
that.
그때 기분 다시 한 번만 설명해 줄 수 있을까요?
그때 너무 마지막에 집중한다고 스펠을 아무 말도 안 하고 마음대로 썼는데 그게 잘 먹혀서 이기게 된 것 같습니다.
네, 감사합니다. 시즌 2에 이만은 가고 마지막으로
Didn't
한마디
say much, but
부탁드립니다.
just used the spell and was able to get
아무래도
the
저희
win with the
팀
poise and
목표가
just
월드
barely.
챔피언십이기 때문에 꼭 우승하고 싶습니다.
네, 그리고 팀원들에게 마지막으로 한마디
Says, yeah, we just really want to win.
앞으로도 좋은 팀워크 이뤄서 우승했으면 좋겠습니다.
And to your
네,
teammates,
고생하셨습니다.
just, let's continue with the good
네, 이렇게 해서
teamwork
신입 선수들과
and
함께 승리 거둔
try to continue winning in
샌드박스
the
첫승
future.
진심으로
Good
축하드리고요.
words here
앞으로도
from
활약
Thunder.
기대해 보도록
The new
하겠습니다.
player, the young guy,
그럼 저희는
17 years
잠시 후
old on the side of
킹종과
Sandbox. They were able to win
OP
today,
다시
but
돌아오도록
guys, we are going to go
하겠습니다.
to another 5-minute break, and we'll be back with the final match of the night, Kingzone versus OP Gaming. Welcome back, everybody, to more of Clash Royale League Asia here in South Korea tonight. It's me, Valdez, with Paper Thin. We're casting a bunch of the Korean teams going head-to-head. So far, Kingzone, Dragon X, and Sandbox getting a couple of wins. But now we're going to jump into Kingzone versus OP Gaming to see if OP Gaming can also end up with a win of their own.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday when the SEA teams competed against each other. Each team managed to come out with one win. Can the Koreans do the same thing? Can OP Gaming turn it around? A lot of those games were very, very close against Sandbox. They played very well, always taking at least one out of the best of three. So, and some of those games that they did lose were close still.
시즌2에 보니까 다른 팀도 그렇고 되게 영입을 많이 했더라고요.
저희 팀에서도 시도를 해봤는데 어중간한 선수라면은 저희 팀 전력에 보강이 되지 않는다고 판단을 해서 영입하지 않았었습니다.
딱히 선수 영입은 없었지만 모든 선수들이 시즌 1 때보다 훨씬 더 많은 발전이 있으니까
제가 부족한 점을 공백기 동안 좀 많이 보완하면서
새로 시작한다는 마음가짐으로 연습을 많이 했어요.
이번에 줄라이
선수가 그랜드 엄청 잘하고 있더라고요.
좀 많이 경계가 되는 것 같아요. 원래는 좀 한 덱만 고집하는 경향이 좀 있었는데 더 다양한 덱을 한 덱을 쓰는 것처럼 좀 능숙하게 다루시는 것 같더라고요.
덱폭을 늘리려고 연습을 많이 했어요. 시즌2에서는 기대하셔도 좋지 않을까 생각합니다.
저희 팀의 진TV 선수가 그랜드를 하루 종일 하고 있거든요. 그만큼 되게 열심히 하고 있어요.
그랜드도 전 세계 랭킹 1등 하고 있습니다.
진TV의 장점은 열심히 한다.
잘한다도 아니고?
그렇게 막 경계되고 그렇진 않아요. 왜냐하면 덱폭이 그렇게 넓은 것 같지도 않고 카운터 치는 실력도 없는 것 같기 때문에.
저도 마찬가지로 똑같이 대덕장 선수 잘한다고 인정 안 하기 때문에 상관없다고 생각을 해요. 제가 실력으로 보여주도록 하겠습니다.
네, 이제 3세트 룰이 바뀌었다고 했는데 저희가 이제 킹존이랑 만나면은 의미 없는 것 같아요. 저희가 2대0으로 이길 거기 때문에.
저번 시즌 1 때처럼 2대0으로 빨리 끝내드리겠습니다.
시즌 1 때 그 결과를 목표하도록 하겠습니다.
저희 팀이 한 수 더 앞선다는 걸 보여드리겠습니다.
Good to hear from the two teams. It looks like some history between these two as the trash talk going back and forth between JinTV and Expo Master specifically. Both teams seem confident to take the 2-0 tonight, but only one can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, here is our lineup for Kingzone, Dragon X, Big Daddy Ho, July, and Expo Master, filling out the roster for Kingzone. Expo had some, he's never one to ever say that another player is good. I've never seen him say that someone else is really good, or for the most part, he's always like, well, they're gonna try.
He tries hard, or, he has interesting decks, or, he's good against other players, but not against me, or something like that, Expo Master definitely sees himself as the master of not only Expo, but of Clash Royale here in Asia. These guys, they feel good enough, they want to make it to that top spot and go to the World Finals. That's the goal for all of these teams this time around.
Yeah, now, interesting stuff here. This time it looks like we're going to switch up our 2v2 here for Kingzone Dragon X. I believe that was Expo Master and July heading over there, but here are our bands. We have the Tornado and the Poison for OP Gaming. This time, Wechan and Chasu instead of Fever and Thunder. So, both teams changing it up here for this third match.
Yeah, pretty cool to see. Also, you take a look at the bands for the 1v1 double Valkyrie band. You don't see that all too often. As speaking of a card that's good against Royal Hogs, the Valkyrie is quite good. You know, you can't stop all the damage if they're going 1v1 down the lane, but you just stand there, do the AoE damage with some support. You can get a nice elixir trade and try to go for a counter push. So maybe both of these guys thinking about that. The Valkyrie just in general a very strong card nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. It got a buff pretty recently. It got some extra, I believe, hit points. And so it was already, in my opinion, a pretty tough card. Now it's a really tough card. Fits really well into those cycle decks, into the control decks. It can stand toe-to-toe with a lot of the bigger cards like the Mega Knight, a little bit with P.E.K.K.A, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So guys, we are going to have this 2v2 coming in. Expo Master and July over here on the left side. They did go ahead and ban out the Tornado this time around. But Expo Master trying to get another win in the 2v2. You did see that he got a couple of wins here for his side this time around. We'll see how his teamwork works with July.
Yeah, so kind of an interesting thing. It looks like July and Ho are going to switch their positions here. Ho played the 1v1 for Kingzone Dragon X in the first match, wasn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, Big Daddy, not Ho. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ho played in the 2v2. Big Daddy played the 1v1. So Ho's...
It wasn't Ho, it was Big Daddy.
Ho's resting. He's taking a seat. You know, they're calling up July here for the pinch hit. A little bit, maybe. I don't think it's quite like that. I think they're both very strong 2v2 players.
They're both strong players, and I think if you show something early on, you know, maybe a deck that Ho is strong with, July is going to be stronger with something else in the 2v2. Although most likely, you could probably expect them to play something similar. We saw a lot of just Royal Hogs.
More Royal
AoE,
Hogs.
yeah, stuff like that. They bought in the bomb tower as well. But let's take a look at the other side. Uchan coming on in here. This time around once again in the 2v2, but instead of Songwan, we are going to have Chashu instead to join him.
Yeah, when these two players play together, they've fared fairly well. They're 7-5 total, including the regular season, and then I think they played together a little bit in the, not in the playoffs, they didn't make the playoffs, but there was they were like 7-5 or something like that together. So they work pretty well together overall. Wee-chan, of course, being our eldest player today. He's just a little bit younger than me, just by a few months.
Yeah. He is, it says 33, but that's Korean age.
That's Korean age, yeah.
Born in 1986 in November is Uchan, so definitely extending the life of pro gaming to lengths that we thought were not possible. But he's going to make us all believers tonight if he can take the win in the 2v2.
Well, I think if you have aspirations to be a pro gamer, something like Clash Royale might be your route if you're, you know, into your 30s, you know, because this doesn't really require as much of that fast reaction time as maybe a first-person shooter or something like that. This is a lot more about strategy and tactics and kind of knowing what your opponent's going to do and when to play and where to play your cards. So I think this is something that absolutely could, you know, we could see if Clash Royale continues to be a thing, and I hope it does. I love this game. That in the future, that maybe we'll even see like a 40-year-old Clash Royale pro.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the older and wiser you get, I suppose, the better you should get at strategy, as long as you practice enough, and no doubt these two teams have been doing it. We're taking a look at Chashu's most played deck from 2v2. Saw the Lava Hound in there. Didn't get a good look at that, but it seemed pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of things are possible here. Whenever it's just Tornado and Poison or just Tornado that are banned, it really opens up what the players can do. Of course, we saw early on a lot of the Hogs, and then we have very different bans in the second match. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I feel like we're going to see a lot of the Royal Hogs, especially out of Kingzone Dragon X, but maybe OP Gaming, they showed us a little bit of trickery in the second match.
Definitely feels that way, but guys, the game is ready. The music has started, so let's start with our last 2v2 of the night. Kingzone up against OP Gaming. Here we go. Taking a look at some of the cards we have already. I see Freeze Graveyard double Mega Knight on the side of OP Gaming, and I see double Princess and very similar decks actually on the side of King Zone. Double Princess, double Valkyrie, double Fireball. A lot of similarities here.
Yeah, it looks like OP Gaming is trying, I believe this is the deck they tried in the second game of the second match, right? Where they tried the double Mega Knight. Let's see if they can get it to pull out this time. The double Valkyrie is a nice little counter to that. It really keeps those Mega Knights at bay.
Would love to get that first one ahead. It looks like that is going to aggro it. The second Mega Knight comes in. Dark Goblin going to deal with the Goblin Barrel relatively well there. Let's see if this Mega Knight can get the jump off and do the damage. No, it's killed in mid-air. It's actually very fortunate.
Wow, that Princess getting saved by that arrow from the Princess Tower. A little bit of damage coming in here from the Spear Goblins. Nice little timing there to get that chip damage. Those Spear Goblins got a buff to their initial damage recently, so they're a nice little card to throw in there and try to just sneak out a little damage.
Yeah, we have kind of calmed down after that one, seeing what else they can do. Gonna go ahead and throw out a Fireball to deal with that Tombstone, but it does not hit the Mega Knight. So the Mega Knight here at full health and the Tesla at about half already. See if he can do anything with the next Graveyard Freeze. Should be in order.
Right. They only freeze the card, not the Valkyrie.
Oh, second freeze comes in though.
Oh, and a nice snowball though, but still so much damage coming down. That baby dragon was able to get some splash damage onto the tower as well. Here comes the counter barrel from Expo Master in July, getting in there, doing some decent damage with that barrel.
Yeah, the Dark Goblin was pretty good against that, but in the end, for some of that damage, oh, Dark Goblin gets a couple of hits, and the Zap is not very effective. Used actually a little bit too late there, but does mean that that Princess Tower at the bottom right is going to be pretty down to its last legs here.
Right, this push looking strong here from OP Gaming. Two Mega Knights out on the board. A Witch behind him. The Graveyard comes down. A Dark Goblin answered from Kingzone Dragon X. The freeze comes down. Two more freezes. This double freeze is so powerful.
And double freeze is good. The arrow's going to come through as well, but in the end, they couldn't freeze everything. So, not going to be able to take it out just yet. We'll see if they can Fireball and do enough damage here in the end. Snowball going to save their own Princess turret. Really love to get on in there. Fireball is going to be used, but it's not enough. 97 health, need a little bit extra.
Got to make this push work before those Fireballs cycle up again. They are, OP Gaming is getting ready to do another Graveyard Freeze push maybe, or they could just try to play defense, wait for, oh, they have arrows.
Oh,
that's not enough.
Not enough. But with the log it is. So they do get it. It was pretty scary in the end. A little bit of tap on the shoulder raise, like, well, the arrows weren't enough there, but you get the win in the end, and you got to be happy with that one. Definitely a good upset victory, I would say. OPGG over our favorites, Kingzone Dragon X.
Yeah, nice little game from them. A really interesting double freeze deck there. Makes it really hard to place those units to protect against the Graveyard, especially when you've got a Mega Knight bearing down on you from in front. That's tough.
Definitely is. Looks like we do have a timeout from the side of Kingzone. As you would expect, you don't want to lose the 2v2 and get off on the wrong foot up against OP Gaming. So everybody kind of come in here and just figure out what exactly went right on the side of OP Gaming, what went wrong on the side of Kingzone. I really like those double freeze decks. I feel like they can be very strong in 2v2, but it was pretty close overall. I feel like Kingzone maybe a couple of tweaks here and there and they can come back.
Yeah, the double Gobble Barrel didn't really seem to pay off for them. It looked like that, you know, OP Gaming really had the answers for that. They had Log, they had Arrows, which does counter the Goblin Barrel as well.
And Snowball.
It's Snowball, exactly. That counters it too, that pushes it away. I think they had a lot of, they kind of expected what Kingzone Dragon X was going to do. That was more of a cycle deck from Kingzone Dragon X, right? Or they're trying to just keep these cards being flung out, but they get so much value out of the Mega Knight against a cycle deck because there's a lot of, you know, like multiple unit cards that are being played there, right?
Yeah.
Like the Goblin Game, you know, the Goblin Barrel, that kind of thing. Tombstone.
Yeah. Very true. I want to see what they bring in for game number 2. I wouldn't even be surprised if they mix it up entirely. You'll notice that neither team brought in the Royal Hogs. Was the name of the game in match number 1, but they put the pigs away. Not eating bacon for match number 3, but I don't want to say that too early. Maybe in game 2 we can see it.
Maybe. I think Mega Knight was maybe picked partially because it's a good counter to the Royal Hogs.
Yeah.
Does quite a bit of damage when it comes in and lands on them, and basically wipes them out before they can do more than 1 or 2 hits on the Princess Tower.
Yeah. It's very true. I mean, it wasn't even just 1 Mega Knight, it was 2. So you think about that, you think about the Tombstone, you think about all these different counters to it. And maybe they were prepared for it more than I was expecting.
Yeah, really nice job by them. I mean, Kingzone Dragon X is known to play many different types of decks, including Cycle decks there. It looks like they got caught, with their pants down a little bit there. Wasn't quite, the best thing in the world. I mean, especially because OP Gaming had arrows. But guys, this is game 2 of the 2v2 of our last match of the night. It is OP Gaming versus Kingzone Dragon X. Let's get going.
Here we are. We do see some mix-ups on the side of Kingzone. You'll notice the flying machine and the lightning being taken. We'll see if that helps them out this time. And you look up at the top side, it looks like they're playing a very similar deck to what Kingzone had in game number 1.
Yeah, a little bit more of a control style with those Teslas there, so they're going to play a little bit more defensive oriented is OP Gaming. But yeah, Kingzone changing it up quite a bit here. I mean, we've got Royal Giant again.
Okay, this is one way to do it. The Tesla is going to come up and, well, really nicely timed on the lightning, pops it down, and it aggroes onto that Princess Tower. Going to get 3 hits total.
Fantastic lightning there, but here comes the Goblin Barrel in response with a Dark Goblin coming up behind it. The Flying Machine will get Fireball to be taken out, but a lot of value coming out of that Flying Machine, taking down the Dark Goblin and forcing a Fireball.
Yeah. Not sure if they needed to use the Fireball, especially with the Tesla that was available, but either way, I suppose better safe than sorry. Maybe you wanted to keep the Tesla healthy for something new that was going to come on in. Speaking of which, how about another Royal Giant?
Love it. Love seeing it. That Valkyrie in front of it soaking up a lot of damage for it from those Teslas, allowing the Royal Giants to kind of sit in the back and hit these Teslas from afar. The Electro Wizard doing some work as well. Pulls up with a flying machine. This is incredible.
At the end of the day, they kill the Royal Giant, but they have to expend so much to make sure that they don't take too much damage.
You can just look down in the bottom how much more elixir that Kingzone has compared to OP Gaming right now. And they are getting so much value out of those Royal Giants. Here's the interesting thing. Kingzone hasn't even played their P.E.K.K.A yet.
Yeah. Sitting there in the bottom left, just waiting for their moments. A couple of decent Goblin Barrels actually is going to get the majority of the damage done in the bottom left side. Tesla only pops up for a moment. The lightning once again, perfect timing. These guys are so well practiced.
Yeah, that lightning is really important to making that Royal Giant work. Taking out those Tesla towers, doing a lot of damage to the Valkyries. Nice snowball there.
It's a King Tower.
That's a really important snowball. Very good play here by both teams so far, but Kingzone Dragon X just a little bit in the lead. Great job to predict that Goblin Barrel with that Valkyrie.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Good spotting there. The Flying Machine comes down again. Going to try to snipe him out. And look at how much value they're getting. Not to speak about the Royal Giant that's here again. This time the lightning isn't going to hit the Tesla, but there's not much to deal with the Royal Giant. This could just be lethal damage. It's going to get close.
It's close. I think a snowball and a fireball are going to make it really, really close. They have to use the snowball to defend that left-hand Princess Tower. Electro Wizard comes down as well. Fireball is going to take out that E-Wiz. Valkyrie on the run. They use Zap there. It's going to be more than just a fireball, though, to take down that top right Princess Tower.
Yeah, they say, hey, we're pretty far in the lead. Might as well take it pretty slow. That's a really valuable Tesla and Dark Goblin combination, though. Going to keep that all alive, but it does not matter. They cycle into Lightning Fireball, and that will be it. No further pushing required from Kingzone. They take game number 2 away and make this a 1-game series in the best of, or the 2v2.
We're seeing some really efficient use of the Royal Giant tonight from Kingzone Dragon X, and previously, was it Sandbox that did it, or was it OP Gaming? OP Gaming, that's right. I think OP Gaming used the Royal Giant, but anyway, OP Gaming is taking a timeout.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what happens here. 2 minutes, talk things over. Which one was that? It was either Sandbox or OP. I think it was OP that used the Royal Giant.
You know?
And they barely squeaked out that first game with it, right?
Yeah, it was OP Gaming because Sandbox was talking about how they went triple P.E.K.K.A.
Yes.
And they still lost the first game against the Royal Giant. So you are correct. Kingzone showing them a little bit of their own medicine.
I love it. I mean, it's interesting when you play these kind of siege kind of things behind the Royal Giant, and you want to just either get like a Valkyrie in front of it and then an E-Wiz or the flying machine behind it to really keep the units from focusing on it in the front, buying it some time. That lightning, though, so beautiful to take down those Teslas.
Very well practiced. As I said before, Kingzone, part of a great organization trying to show off their stuff here. And July was actually a point of focus in the interviews that we saw. OGN actually saved that, part of the interview for this match because July was actually playing this time around as he wasn't used up against OGN Entus because of no King of the Hill. But they were talking about how this guy is practicing all the time. He's trying really hard to become one of the better players here in Asia, and how that practice is paying off, and how they see him as the key player of the team now. Actually, Expo Master is always going to be there as the big key player, but July's the new up-and-comer trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, they said he's doing really well in the Grand Challenges, and he's got a lot of new different types of decks that he's been playing before. He really only had one deck, they said. Now he's playing many. That's how you succeed in Clash Royale. You have to be versatile. You have to be able to play a lot of different types of decks. You can kind of get away with playing a lot of, similar kind of decks, but you have to be able to mix it up and have a little variety to kind of counter what your opponent is doing. Sometimes that only requires changing 1 or 2 cards in your deck.
Very true. We are going to come down to this last game in the best, or the 2v2. I keep trying to call it a best of 2. Don't really know why, but looks like the music has started, guys, so we're just about ready to jump into it. This last game is going to decide who will take the victory in the 2v2. Let's jump into it right now. We are, guys. You can take a look at some of the new cards. We have the Golem, going to be used here on the side of Kingzone Dragon X. Going to be mixing it up big time. No P.E.K.K.A. that we can see just yet.
So super interesting stuff from Kingzone Dragon X. Game 1 played more of a Psycho kind of deck. Game 2 played a Siege deck. Game 3 looks like they're going for Beatdown.
It's a good mix-up. And speaking of mixing it up, look at what OP Gaming is doing. They're going for this graveyard play once again. Getting a ton of chip damage on in there. They're not even committing to any freezes that they do have just yet. But already down to 1,100 damage on that side. One Fireball cleans up the rest of them. The Golem on the right side is going to do a hefty amount of damage, actually, to fight back here. So, well, at the end of the day, I was feeling good about OP Gaming, but the Golem actually pulls back really nicely.
Yeah, that Golem just kind of sneaked up there. They only had the Witch to counter it. I feel like OP Gaming should have committed a little bit more to their first attack if they were going to let that Golem go through. But some really nice defense here from Kingzone Dragon X, taking a fair amount of damage, but overall, I'd say they're a little bit ahead because they got this top left tower down so low. Oh, and it's one shot left. Now, you're going to want to keep that alive as long as you can. So now, Kingzone has to focus the left side.
Mega Minion going to get a couple of shots there, but they're not too concerned about it. But look at this play. Double Golem going to come in here. Is not going to aggro the Mega Knights. They're just going for perhaps a game-ending push after cleaning up everything on the side. of OP Gaming want to punish them for that play.
Yeah, but that back golem's taking a lot of damage. The front one's going to have to get through all of these skeletons from the Witch and the Tombstone. A decent fireball coming out, but there's still quite a few skeletons doing damage to these golems. There's 4 left. Here comes the Mega Minion to try to counter the Baby Dragon. This is a lot of damage. Ooh, but some good saps come down to protect this second tower.
Yeah, the spells are going to be there in time. Still 40 seconds left and a very weakened tower on the right side, so they can try to mix it up. But interesting play overall with the response there from Kingzone. And now they got to deal with the Mega Knight taking a bunch of this aggro. The freeze is going to come in on the right side, but everything's being cleaned up very cleanly.
That snowball's a great counter to that freeze. You could wait until most of the skeletons there.
Look at
Meanwhile, yeah, top left, that golem's pushing in. Dark Goblin's not going to do a ton of damage to a golem. That tower will surely go down. There's only 22 hit points left on the right side, Princess Tower, for OP Gaming as well. Another graveyard comes down and a freeze as well.
Freeze comes in, but the Fireball going to finish it off. Can they tie it up before the end? It does, but still the push going hard on the top of the King's Tower. The Fireball going to try to take it in, but look at the Lumberjack on the right side. Couple of tops down, and one from the Mega Minion will take it out. And Kingzone Dragon X is going to win that 2v2.
Ooh, really impressive stuff here from Kingzone Dragon X because they were able to win this set with 3 very different types of decks. Right, we saw Beatdown, Siege, and I believe Psycho in the first one. Awesome stuff from them. Shows why they are the strongest team in Korea. They're so versatile.
It definitely shows a lot of moxie, right? If you can come in and say, hey, we can almost beat you with 3 decks in a row, right? They did lose game number 2, but they got close to the challenge there. These guys are strong at so many different decks, whereas OP Gaming, once again, left looking for that win. They got 0-2'd in their match against Sandbox, even though, again, you know, a couple of wins did come in the games, but they lost the 2 matches, so, the 2 sets, I should say. But either way, still looking for that win here. Let's take a look at the replay from this team.
Yeah, so here we see the double freeze from game 1 that did pay off for OP Gaming. They would go back to that toolbox in game 3, but Beatdown deck a little stronger against him because those Olins can take those Mega Knights for a little bit longer, that kind of thing. And again, the cycle control kind of thing that Kingzone was trying to do just wasn't quite great against those Mega Knights.
Very true. Royal Giant here, always a pleasure to see. Getting that work done.
Makes my heart smile.
Yeah. It's always sad when you're watching a player trying desperately to stop something like a Royal Giant or like an Expo or something like that. They're like, I'll just throw everything I have at it, but nothing seems to work as they've already fallen too far behind in the Elixir trade. This was an interesting one. A lot of trading back and forth in terms of pushes, right? Kingzone would let them push to the left side, or OP Gaming would respond to a Golem with a strong push. And then here, they decide to go for the double Golem instead of, you know, sending it on the other side or anything like that. It ends up doing a nice amount of chip damage, even though OP Gaming responded relatively well.
Yeah, I think that first push from OP Gaming, they let that Golem get too far. You can't just let a Witch go solo against a Golem. That's just going to do too much damage. They should have either overcommitted to the left-hand side or put up a bigger defense against the Witch.
Down here, you can see the end of game 3 as Kingzone were just barely able to push it through with the last hit from the Mega Minion to pull out that win. So Kingzone Dragon X, they were able to take the 2-0 victory, not dropping a game against OGN Entus. They dropped their first game here in the 2v2. Can they cleanly get another 2-0 here, moving into the 1v1? This time it's going to be Ho up against the return of Davo.
Yeah, last season in 1v1, it's not up there on the screen, but I have it on my paper here that he was 3-4 last season in 1v1. Or maybe that was 2 seasons ago. But
yeah,
in our non-existent
some ancient stats.
Yeah. We're pulling these out of a temple we found in Egypt that had some Clash Royale hieroglyphs. There was a picture of Ho in there. Looks like he favors the Inferno Dragon, guards, and bats. Pretty normal. You see most of the players guards, Inferno Dragon, Miner, Mega Minion, that kind of thing. Very efficient cards for their cost. So we'll see what we've got out of Ho here. And versus the OP Gaming, Dabong again.
Yeah, Dabong, got a feel for him. He played the same deck 3 times in a row up against Shin2, and he was so close to defeating that Kingslayer in Shin2, but unfortunately fell flat there in game number 3, started going for defensive expos against P.E.K.K.A.s, and eventually they just pushed in Shin2 to win that one. It was a close series, so I would expect this one to be close as well.
Yeah, definitely a strong player in his own right. I don't think he's going to do the Expo Bowler deck again. I'm like nervous to say it. I'm like, well, he really liked it.
I don't recommend you do that, but he might.
He might. I mean, it's still mind games, right? Like, who plays the same deck 4 times in a row, Valdez?
Well, I do believe there was a Valkyrie in that deck, if I'm not mistaken. So,
True.
Double Valkyrie ban here can mix things up. I don't feel like it was an absolutely crucial part of the deck, but it definitely makes it run. You know, that 4 elixir, super good defensive card is always going to be important.
Yeah, you could substitute it. It wouldn't be as good for what the Valkyrie is, but you could substitute it with like a Knight or an Ice Golem or something like that. Something that's trying to draw attention, but you'd much rather have that Valkyrie. So I think the points you're making are good. That you gotta lean towards him not doing that Expo deck. Maybe you could do the Expo Tesla deck, but even then you'd like to have the Valkyrie for that as well.
Yeah. Ho getting some input here from some of the masterminds of King Zone. I don't see July over there, but you do see Expo Master giving him a word or two, saying, "You will only get my respect if you play 3 different decks, so here you go." Ho's like, oh crap.
Your opponent is weak. He played the same 3 decks all 3 times.
You must beat him with 3 different decks in order to gain my respect. Dabong looking very happy jumping into this one. He's looking for a win, though, not happiness. We'll see if he can do it here as we're going to jump straight into the 1v1. Ho up against Dabong. Let's do it right now. Good luck.
Good luck.
Generally, that means they won't play cards for an hour. Actually, we do have double Spear Goblins going head-to-head.
Interesting. Oh, and the Mortar. Okay. So, will we see Mortar Cycle counter here with the Royal Hogs, but the Rascals come in. Bats get zapped. Fireball comes in.
And the Hogs actually going to push on forward, especially that one on the left. Doing, you know, a couple of hits.
That was just slightly in favor of Dabong there. He still had that Rascal up. They both had about the same amount of elixir left, and it forced Ho to play the Zappies. So definitely, and ooh, a really nice Goblin gang here. And the Spear Goblins to follow it up. Ho is definitely at elixir disadvantage right now.
Yeah. You can also definitely tell what kind of deck Dabong is going for here. Hasn't revealed everything, but definitely is going to be cycling through, getting that mortar down, trying to chip away at that right side Princess Tower. Meanwhile, it's Hogs here for Ho.
Rascals are a decent little counter to this. Not sure. Okay, the Fireball comes in and prevents those Rascal girls from doing damage to the Royal Hogs there. So he gets a lot of chip damage onto that left tower.
Yeah. The question is, what is the response here for the mortar? There's already 2 shots. Spear Goblin's not going to be enough. The Zap actually not going to hit it in the end. That's a 3rd shot from the mortar. Now the Miner's coming through. This is a really fantastic push here from Dabong.
Yeah, Dabong is getting so much value out of that mortar.
Oh, man.
This Princess Tower is in a lot of trouble, down to 376. That mortar got almost every shot possible off.
Yeah, it's a fantastic start here for Dabong. Hasn't revealed his final 2 cards yet. He has only shown 1 spell. Wouldn't be surprised to see some other kind of spell, maybe a poison, a fireball, something like that that can help finish off one of the turrets. You'll notice that he puts a very defensive mortar, so maybe even something like a lightning or a rocket as some very cheap cards in his deck so far.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Probably, there it is, poison. You're absolutely right. Something like that. It's going to do just enough damage that he should be able to poison it, zap it, and then maybe zap it one more time. Just using, oh, but those hogs have to go through 2 mortars to get into the towers of Dabong. Man, some really interesting mortar defensive play there.
Yeah, he knows that he just has to defend, and look at what Ho's going for here. Has to kill him in 10, but the cannon card so good at defending up against that Mega Knight here. The Hog's gonna come forward, but the Miner with the last hit is gonna take out the Princess Tower. And game number 1 will go to Dabong.
Yeah, Dabong did a very nice job there, holding off until the end, using those double mortars to prevent the Royal Hogs from getting in and doing a lot of damage. Now at the end, what's really interesting, if that game had gone for about another second or two, Ho would have been able to take that left-hand Princess Tower. But, doesn't matter. You only have a set amount of time in Clash Royale, so that 1 or 2 seconds doesn't count.
We got a minute here to change up some decks and think about what they're going to go for. Definitely the highlight of that match was the mortar getting, I think it was 4 or 5 shots, which is pretty insane. You never want that to happen when you're going up against Mortar Cycle, but went up with his own very aggressive push and did not have the Hogs ready to deal with the mortar, so it just got so much value on the backside.
Yeah, and he didn't have log, which is a really nice counter to the Rascals. The Rascals were allowed to do a little bit more than maybe they're usually allowed to, because he had to use Fireball on the Rascals.
Exactly, so overall a better deck choice and even some better play, I would say, from the side of Dabong. Has proven that he was the better player in game number 1, but Ho, lots of thinking. Nobody goes over and talks to him. He's just got to do this all by himself and see what he does have prepared. Deep in thoughts right now is Ho.
He looks a little bit worried there, but he's a strong player. He can turn it around for sure. Dabong's looking confident though. Guys, this is game number 2 of set number 2 between Ho and Dabong. Who will win this? Let's go.
Dabong giving the fist pump there. He's ready to go. You were talking about how Ho is not looking ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay. So with a very similar thing here from Dabong so far. The Goblin Wave and the Spear Goblins. Fireball coming in.
Okay.
Battle Ram. Royal Ghost is a very nice counter to Battle Ram.
Alongside of that log means that it gets 0 damage done here overall, and now you have to respond to the Royal Ghost. Plus the Goblin Barrel.
What's he got here? Okay, oh, nice Fireball. Woo!
I love the zoom in there, OGN on point.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Very nicely done by our production crew here.
You can see the elixir is exactly the same now, so not that bad of a trade, although it started out awkward here for the side of Ho.
Some Zappies and a Bandit. First time we've seen the Bandit outside of a 2v2 tonight.
Looking forward, good zap here. Should be able to get a charge onto that Princess Tower and an extra hit. That's some really effective damage and some huge value out of those 2 cards.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big hit. You got to get that charge to land at least once out of the Bandit. Ooh, and the P.E.K.K.A comes down, but there's a Goblin Barrel behind it. He had to use so much elixir to take out that Royal Ghost. Oh, those Goblins just did so much damage.
You know, I like the Fireball play better.
Yep.
Not the P.E.K.K.A into killing the Royal Ghost. Now you have this Princess on the right side. Look at the amount of chip damage it did there, too. Easy response with the Fireball. The cannon cart can tank for a really long time. Battle Ram gets a nice charge on into the right side at least.
Yeah, that's that P.E.K.K.A Battle Ram split I was talking about earlier. We saw something a little similar with other cards being used instead of the Battle Ram, but it can be really strong. But that cannon cart, it did a lot of damage to that P.E.K.K.A.
Talking about how he does not have login here. Same response there, just wants to deal with the Bandit. Should be able to with that Goblin Barrel. Here comes the Battle Ram on the right side. He mentioned it once again. Here it is. Does he have the damage? The log comes in to deny it, and it's not going to get him. Look at the P.E.K.K.A on the left side. The Zap just saved that flying machine. Can he keep it alive is the question.
He's got the Bandit following up. The Bandit should be able to get a charge in here. Yes, it does. Nice fireball.
Yeah, good fireball to follow up, but now we look at Ho, who is in the lead with that winning push.
Yep, in double elixir, that P.E.K.K.A becomes extremely dangerous. It is so easy to get cards behind it to follow up. He's just gonna let that Royal Ghost do some damage. Goblin Barrel coming in from Dabong. He doesn't have an answer for it. That's a lot of damage. Okay, the E-Wiz comes in finally. The P.E.K.K.A's fighting that cannon again.
He missed the fireball on the flying machine. Now it's pushing forward and it takes out the Princess. That's a big mistake.
Oh no, if this P.E.K.K.A, it just needs one hit and they'll be able to take it out. Yep, there's the thumbs up.
That's gonna do it. Yeah, nicely done. Couple of mistakes there, and I think a really fantastic response by Ho at the end of that game. We said, okay, he doesn't have a response to the Goblin Barrel, but he calculated it. He's like, that Goblin Barrel is not going to kill me. I would rather prepare for the push that wins me the game rather than using a zap for defense. I'll use it to save my P.E.K.K.A on the Goblin Gang. A really smart play there by Ho.
Yeah, and Ho is also doing a good job using the Bandit and the Zap together. He would take out those Goblins, allowing that Bandit to get those very necessary one-charge hits that are so crucial when you have the Bandit on your side.
It's definitely the idea. Well, big change up there from Ho in terms of the deck that he did bring. Ended up bringing him the win. Dabong always being a good sport, even the emote towards the end was pretty cool to see, but you don't want to be a good sport, you want to be a winner. You want to be both if possible. So Dabong, this time around we saw him being a little bit stubborn with his decks when he was up against Season2. I would like to see him change into something else.
Yeah, I think he has to at this point. The stubbornness, just, he'll get that, you know, maybe one win, but it doesn't really pay off in the end. He's only able to get one out of the two, so he's got to find another, you know, something to pull out of his bag of tricks here.
Yeah. At least he did move away from the mortar from game number 1, but I feel like even another deck would not be so bad to bring on in here. Decks are going to be confirmed and the pressure's on Ho. Even with a little bit of a smirk there, he knows he has to do the job if they want the 2-0.
Yeah, will it be Expo from Dabong, or does he have something else? A beatdown? Some other kind of thing? We're going to find out the deciding game of the second set of our third match of the night. Will we go to the all-kill, or will we end it right here? We will find out now.
Here we go. I'm most excited to see what decks they bring for the final matchup here. Final game, so much on the line. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Ho.
Just cycling into what he wants. He's just like, that zap's not, you know, I don't need that right now. The Royal Ghost. You're doing pretty good at that.
Gotta love the sound. Into the poison here just to make sure that he can try to one-shot it. Forces a response with the Goblin Gang. Bandit coming forward. And, well, a Barbarian Hut.
Whoa.
How about that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Dabong, you madman. I love it. You don't really see that card very much.
Yeah, you know?
Oh,
Not
and
sure.
the furnace.
Okay. We got 2 buildings now onto the arena. That means the miner is going to get a nice amount of damage done here.
But here's the good news for Ho. He has the Royal Ghost, which is a really cheap counter to these Barbarians. I mean, it can wipe out almost 2 waves of Barbarians on its own. So you're getting value out of that Royal Ghost compared to that Barbarian Hut there.
I mean, it's the Royal Ghost, it's the poison that just hit not only the 2 buildings, but also the Princess Tower. I feel like so far, Ho is off to a magnificent start. How about a 3rd building? How about an Expo? Why not? He's going to be sad to see that P.E.K.K.A, though.
Yeah, that P.E.K.K.A's well-timed. Good job keeping it hidden until then. Ooh, a nice zap, though, from Dabong. A return zap from Ho. This should allow him. He just needs one hit. Oh, not quite. So that Expo is going to do a lot of damage to Ho's tower.
Yeah, Bandit does come in and cleans it up, but you can already see that he has struck back here right before the double elixir did come in.
Right, but this is the time when the P.E.K.K.A really shines. There's that Royal Ghost to counter those Barbarians. A Miner coming in as well to do some damage to that Princess Tower. The Musketeer, though, keeps it from doing too much.
Gets 3 hits, hits it down to about 1022. He's still got poison in his pocket. There's the P.E.K.K.A you were mentioning. Expo on the left side even here, but the man is ready with the response alongside the minions, and no response for the P.E.K.K.A on the right side.
Uh-oh, if this P.E.K.K.A gets even 1 hit, that's about game over. Oh my god! Hit like a truck. Down goes Dabong's Princess Tower. This is looking very good for Ho. There's only 10 seconds left. Dabong concedes, gives him the thumbs up. Good game, Ho. Way to turn it around after losing the first game.
Yeah, really good response, good choice in terms of the deck. He was able to shut down that Barbarian hut rather. Gets the thumbs up from Dabong. Ho gives him the nod. That means that, of course, Kingzone Dragon X is going to take another 2-0 victory tonight. Was a little bit harder up against OP Gaming. It wasn't as clean as it was against OGN Entus. But either way, a win's a win, and they get 2 of them tonight.
Yeah, it was really close games there at the end. The last game wasn't quite as close. You know, Ho really had a great setup there. He did a really good job cycling his cards. He does a really good job with that Bandit Lightning P.E.K.K.A combo, and he can put some other things behind it. So really fun stuff to see.
Kingzone Dragon X will be your victors. As we just mentioned, Ho showing that he can show up in the 1v1 as well as the 2v2. Gets a couple of those wins under his belt tonight. I think we're about to jump to the replay and see exactly how that did go down. Pretty interesting series overall.
Yeah, no, both teams playing some really interesting decks. This Mortar was a great pick from Dabong. I was really shocked to see this. I mean, it's not like Mortar Cycle isn't a thing. Of course it is. But without the Valkyrie, it was a nice little trickery.
Yeah, we talked about different cards you could use, right? That was the one moment we just had on the replay. Where the Mortar got like 5 hits, but the Rascal's actually doing a really nice job. You mentioned how the log wasn't there in response, and the Rascals instead of the Valkyrie tended to work out for him really nicely. And in the end, Ho was able to strike back.
Yeah, the Zappy's a good little counter. The Royal Ghost there, and here's this moment towards the end where that Battle Ram gets that hit, and that Battle Ram gets that charge hit. It's so much.
One of the problems with Goblin Barrel, as we saw, is you can use it, you can try to finish him off, but if it doesn't do the damage and he has a follow-up push, it's not good on defense. And if you just used it, that's 3 elixir that basically goes to waste, as it doesn't take out anything on the opposite side.
And look at the value you get on that poison there.
Yeah.
It hits the Barbarian Hut, the Furnace, and the Princess Tower. That is one juicy poison.
Really, really cool. But anyway, guys, good win there from Ho. Let's see who we do have for the interview. Of course, I'll translate it once again as well as I possibly can. Let's see who it is going to be. It looks like it is Ho over here. Let's see what he has to say.
네, 오늘의 마지막 매치 킹존과 OP 게이밍의 경기 함께 하셨습니다. 아, 그 결과 첫 매치에 이어서 또다시 승리하며 오늘의 2승이라는 쾌거를 거둔 킹존 정말 대단합니다. 승리의 주역 호 선수와 함께 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
오늘 두 번째 매치 함께한 호 선수, 뭐 연승을 한 소감 어떻습니까?
How did it feel to win 2 in a row?
사실 연승할 거라 생각은 했는데 막상 하니까 너무 기분이 좋습니다.
네, 오늘 1대1과 2대2 모두 다 너무 좋은 플레이를 보여주셨거든요. 어떻게 연습을 하셨나요?
일단 혁신님이 되게 체계적으로 잘 짜주셨고 연습량도 저번보다 더 늘렸습니다.
네, 거기다가 또 개인적으로 굉장히 궁금한 점이 이제 시즌 1에서 정말 아쉽게 또 연패를 거뒀었잖아요. 그때 그 영향이 지금 이어지지 않았는지.
You're on a losing streak before, but now you're doing better. Do you feel like that had any effect on your play?
멘붕이었나요?
예, 멘붕이었습니다.
그래서 약간 그동안
get
게임을 안
a
했나요?
bit of a mental boom.
한 일주일 쉬고
From that,
그 다음부터는 연습량을
But,
오히려
he rested
두
for a
배로
good week.
늘렸습니다.
네.
He came back
정말
to the
대단한
game
것 같고요.
and
그리고
he's playing much
따봉TV
better now.
선수와 1대1 대결에서 첫 판에 박격포가 나왔습니다. 박격포가 랭크 게임에서 좀 많이 쓰이고 있긴 한데 대회에서는 생각보다 많이 나오진 않고 있잖아요. 예상을 했었는지
아니요, 예상
So there
못했습니다.
was a card that was played in the
박격포가
2v2.
나오지
I
않을
didn't
거라
quite catch
생각했나요?
the Korean name of that one. Sorry guys, but
네,
it's not
알겠습니다.
played too
그리고
often.
평소에
and he's like,
따봉TV
yeah, we
선수에게
weren't expecting it.
굉장히
Whatever card it was,
네.
don't quite remember. Sorry.
네, 따봉TV 선수 마지막에 실수를 좀 연달아서 했는데 그 부분 어떻게 생각하시는지?
Dabong made a mistake towards the end. How did you feel
사실
about that?
실수는 저도 많이 하기 때문에 따봉 TV님이 못한다고 생각은 절대 안 하고
Said I made a lot
잘하시는
of mistakes
분인데
too, and
긴장을 좀 많이 하셨다 생각합니다.
you know I.
네, 거기다가
I don't
오늘
think
게임
he's a bad player at all.
플레이하는데
He's a
손을 정말 많이
fantastic player.
떠셨어요. 저도
I'm
솔직히
happy to
MC
get the
보면서
win.
손을 많이 떨고 있거든요. 근데 네, 긴장을 많이 하셨는지.
Were you nervous
네,
for this match?
2대2 할 때는 많이 말을 하다 보니까 많이 긴장을 안 하는데
Talked a
1대1 할
lot, and I
때는
wasn't
긴장을
really
많이 하는
nervous
것 같습니다.
because of that.
네, 지금 거기다가 지금 호 선수가 이제 팀에서 굉장히 맏형이잖아요. 다 10대 친구들인데 이제 언어를 조금 10대 언어를 좀 많이 배웠나요?
저 모르는 게 없을 정도로 예, 다 잘합니다.
네, 그럼 시즌 2
Something about
각오
some
한마디 해주세요.
language. I don't know exactly what it is, but he's like, yeah, I'm pretty good at it.
시즌 1은 제 개인적인 생각으론 가장 잘한 팀이 우승을 했다 생각을 하는데 시즌 2에서는 가장 우승을 하고 싶은 팀이 우승을 할 거라 생각합니다.
Said the best team won
네,
for
이렇게
season
해서
1.
킹존이 오늘의
And we
마지막
wanna be the
매치를
team that
승리하며
wins a lot
멋지게
in
마무리했습니다.
season 2 and wins,
진심으로 축하드리면서
first
시즌도
place
앞으로도
prize
활약
this
기대해
time
보겠습니다.
around.
그럼 저는 여기서
Gets
인터뷰
over to
모두
Worlds.
마치도록 하겠습니다.
So that's going to do it for the interview.
Good job, man.
I did my best.
Really
I'm not
good.
a fluent Korean
Yeah.
speaker, but I
That
tried to do my best. But
That was fantastic.
yeah, we do have the results here from the day. Kingsung getting 2 wins, Sandbox taking the second one. Unfortunately, OP Gaming taking 2 losses today, alongside OGN Entus' 1 loss.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaway that I found from today was Kingzone has players that can win 1v1s that are not Expo Masters.
Yeah.
Both Ho and Big Daddy got it done in their 1v1s and brought home the victory for Kingzone again, and they're looking to be the strongest team in Korea in Season 2.
It's really important, you know, that you mention that, especially with the new format we have where you can't do 2v2 and 1v1, and you gotta save some of your 2v2 guys or your 1v1 guy for the King of the Hill if it does happen. So you have to have a strong team rather than just one player that's going to clean it all up for you. So I like the new format. I feel like it's better. I feel like it's more competitive. And, well, Kingzone showed that they are okay to play in this format tonight.
Yeah, I agree. We're getting more interesting games. We're getting more exciting games. We're getting diversity in the types of decks we're seeing because you have to have a lot of different players available and who can fill in the different roles. This is our matchups for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Japan. It'll once again be me, Paper Thin, and my man Valdez over here. Did a great job with the translations today, buddy, but I don't think you know any Japanese,
No.
so I think tomorrow.
Can't rely on me for this one, but we will be relied on for the cast, I suppose. Should be a fun one, of course. Pono Sports, the champions coming back. Should be the big favorites. Only play 1 game up against Game With, and then FAV Gaming up against Detonation Gaming, and then Game With up against Fav Gaming as well. So lots of gaming, lots of teams. Should be pretty fun. So yeah, it's a fun day of casting today. Paper Thin was our first time casting today.
Yeah.
Together. Also my first time doing Clash Royale. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I had a great day. These were really interesting and exciting games. I had a great time casting with you, man. Thanks again. This was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I guess that's going to do it for us. I'm not sure exactly when we close out, but thank you guys for watching. We will be here tomorrow as well to bring you more Clash Royale action. I'm going to be taking some of these decks from today and spamming them on the ladder, as I know I definitely could tweak some of the decks that I've been making to look a little bit like some of the ones we've been seeing tonight.
Yeah, I was feeling that Mortar Rascals deck.
Yeah.
That one I really like. That one speaks to me. I like Siege decks, so
Yeah.
I might have to give that one a go.
That one looks pretty good. I liked the a couple of the P.E.K.K.A decks we saw. I used to really like P.E.K.K.A, but then, kind of fell out of the meta a little bit, but now it's coming back, especially in competitive. I would like to try some of those decks as well, maybe try a couple of grand challenges myself and see what happens.
Yeah, I've been using the P.E.K.K.A decks in the Clan Wars a lot because for whatever reason we seem to end up with P.E.K.K.A, and I found that P.E.K.K.A and like Battle Ram work really well.
So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you once again for watching so much. We'll be back here tomorrow with the Japanese teams that are going to be going head-to-head. And that will be, of course, same time, same place here at OGN. So until then, guys, we will see you later. Good night.